I've tested everything.
But this was a sound. It could change direction like that. Speeds not of this earth. I don't know, he's a soul who has clearance on H2. But then again, I just drive the damn thing.
We welcome you to round number 7 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series, hosted by Viewfinders MC, as you take a look high above this beautifully prepped race course. Hello, everybody. I'm Jack Rapello alongside Mark Tilley. And, Mark, here we go. Summer break is over, and everybody is talking about just how great this track is.
Oh, it's amazing. I've been coming here since early 2000s. I've never seen it this good. These guys got rain a couple weeks ago, and they did a phenomenal job on the course. Hopefully later in this broadcast we'll be able to see some really good racing. There's lines everywhere out there. The Viewfinders, like I said, they did an amazing job at this course. It's not very much different than we've seen in years past, but, man, the conditions are just epic. There's only a couple sections that there's major, bumps that I've seen for years and years and years. But like I said, I've been coming here since the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and this is the best conditions I've seen this course in.
Well, we got a lot to talk about during this broadcast. Stay with us, share with a friend, and we also have an opportunity for those watching at home to potentially win a brand new e-bike from Gas. So
Whoa. Stay
tuned for that, guys. We've also got storylines aplenty. We could be handing out some championship hardware today. I always like to call Dante the five-time. Might be saying six-time after today. He's got a chance to clinch. Mason Simmons has an opportunity to lock up the championship in the 250s, and Michaela Nielsen can do the same. So we could potentially crown 3 champions here today, but
yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are gonna contest that with them. I mean, you got the Dare D Martel's been on fire lately, and in some of the other off-road series. So it's definitely, there's lots of people out here that are gonna contest them winning their championships, and there's lots of other people that have a say so. And I think we're going to have a chance to look at some of the track here. What we're looking at right now is right before the finish line section. There's some doubles in there. There's some switchbacks, but I think right now we're going to take a look at this track, and they call the sections that we're going to look at right here. This is a section that they've been running for a long time. They don't usually get to run it all weekend, but they are running it all weekend here. All of this is kind of flowy, wide open. I believe we're on board with Mason. It might be, but it's wide open. But in years past, like you can see, there's insides and outside lines right there, but just loamy dirt. And I believe this might have been at the end of the day. So the course, I've been out there today. It's actually ripped all deep. So you're seeing multiple lines in there, but there's a lot more lines out there now, and it's, again, ripped deep for these guys, so we're going to see lots of really good racing action. But it kind of flows in and out. You do a couple sections in a motocross before you make it out to here, and then this section at the end of it, you will come back into a motocross section. But as you can see, they're flowing, and it's high speed. The entire track is kind of on the higher speeds that we're used to in the NGPC series, but it definitely does that section. You come along here, and there's 2 tabletops that you could, or 2 jumps that you can just sky off of. This one you can go really far. It's funny when there's people coming down the road on the other end, you can hear them honking and stuff. So, but like I said, this just kind of flows back and forth. I think that it's going to be really good for setting up passes and kind of coming back into the moto section.
Wow, impressive. Using every inch of racetrack, and that's what we'll be seeing here in mere moments as we are just a few seconds away from the call-ups, where we will meet our field here in just a little bit when they tell us they're ready for that. There's been racing going on all weekend long. We're here in the Mojave Desert, about, I'd say 2 hours from Ontario, California, SoCal up here. It's a great area. Little sleepy town of 28,000 that comes alive, and boy, they appreciate us being here. Big shout out to first responders.
What's the fun fact? Come on.
Let's see. You know what? We'll save that one.
I know you do your research.
I have done my research about this. We'll actually, you know what? Since you're calling for it right now, Mark Tilley, we're gonna.
You gotta bust it out on him right away.
All right, we're gonna have to give it to you right away. Fun fact about Ridgecrest: known for its close ties to the Naval Air Weapons Station and unique desert landscape. How about that? And I do believe we are ready for our AHM factory call-up. So without further ado, let's meet our pro riders. And ladies and gentlemen, we begin in the women's category, looking to lock up a championship today, working on a perfect season out of Riverside, California, rider of the Honda CRF 250RX from Monster Energy SLR Honda. Let's hear it for Michaela Moto KK Nielsen. Fresh off a very successful performance overseas, this 19-year-old rider comes from Redwood City, California, rider of the Gas EX250F out of Troy Lee Designs Gas. Let's hear it for Ava Silvestri. And also riding with us today on a Yamaha, number 813, always improving, always fast. Did a great job with us earlier this year. Good luck to her. Let's hear it for Ty Woolslayer. And that is your starting lineup today in the Women Pro category. Big shout out to our own Craig Hunter down there, keeping everything in line as we get set to meet our field here in Pro 2. Big thanks goes out to Skaggs Factory Racing and all the other great sponsors that you'll see here at the AHM call-ups and more. Without further ado, let's meet the superstars of the Pro 2 category. First off, a man who has dominated this year, looking to lock up the title. He said if he does, he'll step up to 450s for the next race. Out of Melbourne, Australia, on a KTM 250 XCF out of FMF RPM KTM Racing, here is Mason Simmons. A fellow Australian on a Husqvarna FC250 2024 National Hare and Hound Pro 250 champion. Let's hear it for Sam Pretschirer. This man also rides a Husqvarna FC250 out of Gainslinger Human Performance. From Murrieta, California, here is Cole Zeller. Another one of the very tough Husqvarna FC250 racers out of Three Bros, Hatch Husqvarna. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Kai Aiello. And starting from the number 5 spot today in the Pro 2 category on a KTM, let's hear it for number 41, Noah Gordon. Starting from the number 6 spot today, rider of the 508 Gas machine, here is Dustin Davis. Keep an eye on this man out of Simi Valley, California. He's had a lot of success in this series, and he's feeling healthy again on a Kawasaki KX 250X from Hatch Racing Kawasaki. Let's hear it for the Cowboy, Colton Eck. On a 185 gas, very tough, talented rider. Here is Zachary curling. In the number 9 spot today out of Pinion Hills, California, a multi-time NGPC top 3 finisher. Ladies and gentlemen, on his Kawasaki, let's hear it for J.P. Alvarez. Starting in the number 10 spot in the Pro 2 category, this man rides the number 99 Husqvarna. Here is Brock Bennett. And starting from the number 11 spot, this man rides the 322 Yamaha. Here is Ryder Partridge. As we now turn our attention to the superstars of the Open Pro category, it is time to meet these fearless riders, and we begin with an individual who has absolutely dominated this series, looking for yet another accolade today. He comes from Hollister, California. He rides the KTM 450 XCF out of Factory Red Bull FMF KTM. Say hello to the five-time defending champion. Here is Dante Oliveira. Will it be 6 today? We'll find out. And ladies and gentlemen, we now turn our attention to a young man who made history at this racetrack with his father one short year ago, scoring Factory Beta, their first Open Pro win. Can he do it again? Out of Lincoln, California, rider of the Beta 480RR from Liquid Moly Beta Factory Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Dare D. Martell. In the number 3 spot today, this man comes from Utah on a Mark Samuels Monster Energy SLR Honda CRF 450 RX. Let's hear it for the 24 of Tyler Lynn. In the number 4 spot, this man rides for Mitch Payton's Pro Circuit team. He comes all the way from Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 18 of Giacomo Ridonde. Starting in the number 5 spot today, don't look now, he's 25 pounds heavier, packed on some muscle, ladies and gentlemen, from Hollister, California, rider of the KTM 450 XCF out of Factory Red Bull Racing. Let's hear it for Mateo Oliveira. In the number 6 spot today, rider of the Yamaha YZ 450 FX, a 2023 Works champion, rider for Purvines Racing, Simi Valley Cycles Yamaha. Welcome back to Justin Heft. And in the number 7 spot today, rider of the 239 Yamaha, here is Hayden Flores. A new addition to the Pro Circuit team. Please help us welcome a very accomplished racer. Here is the 178 of the Kawasaki-backed machine of Lyndon Snodgrass. Starting in the number 9 spot today, this man rides an SLR Honda, the 464 of Carter Klein. And rounding out our top 10 in the Open Pro category, this man rides the 504 Kawasaki machine. Let's hear it for Ezra Tate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your starting pro lineup here today. The big question mark, Tilly, will we be saying Dante 6-time champion after today?
Yeah, you're going to have to, if that happens, you're going to have to take a breath in between some of those times. So, yeah, you know, you can't count out the champ. Giacomo was going. I got to see the back wheel of him during the vet race yesterday. He looked like he was going really good. Dare always goes really good here. So let's throw it down to the start line for the national anthem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing from a beautiful day from Ridgecrest, California. And I will tell you this, too, while all of our great first responders stand on the starting line out there, we want to give a massive thank you to everyone here at Ridgecrest. Remember, it was just one short year ago that we had an absolutely horrible fire in the pits. It is something that could have spiraled way, way out of control. It's something that could have destroyed so much property and maybe even resulted in the loss of human life. Unfortunately, we got out of there without any injuries whatsoever. Mark, you and I were sitting eating dinner on that night 1 year ago, and again, just an amazing response by first responders to get that fire out. That was a scary one.
Yeah, not only the first responders, but all the people here, all the the guy that's camped next to you, your next door neighbor was jumping in and making sure that we had all the support. And if it wasn't for all those people, we wouldn't have been able to get out of it. Like you said, without any injuries, without any loss of life. Yeah, there's trailers that went away, but you know what? We can replace those. And the major trailers that went away, those guys were back here racing the next day. So, it's definitely a cool thing to see and how the community comes together.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So we're really appreciative of that, and we're so happy to be back here once again. Ridgecrest, we love it. I don't know if you had an opportunity to stop at any of the stores or the gas stations, but I love it when we roll into a community and everybody says, hey, thanks for being here. This is great. Helps them sell a little more food, sell some more items at the gas station, and that's great when you are appreciated at a certain age.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the town of Ridgecrest comes in. I mean, Rad Ryan Abatoy that makes the T-shirts and all that kind of stuff from Rad Graphics is based out of here. I have friends, Nick Burson usually comes out and races. He's based out of here, has raced these races for a long time. So Colby Began, just lots of great people that live up here. And like you said, there's lots of opportunities to work at the base and do all kinds of stuff up here. There's lots of filming that they do up here as well. So, just a great town. It's been on the series forever. Like I said, I've been coming here since the early 2000s, and this course is way better than anything I've seen before.
Wish you guys could be here with us, but if not, this is the next best thing. So stay with us, and whether you're watching this live or on demand, we're going to have an opportunity for you to get involved in a couple drawings. For our live audience, that Gas E MTB 2.0 cross-country bike will be going out today, so stay tuned. We'll be showing a QR code throughout this broadcast that you can scan and get in. Also want to remind everybody that the Beta motorcycle 2025 Beta 450 RX will be raffled off at our next race in Laughlin, so make sure you enter that as we take a look at our starting roster, starting lineup here for NGP round number 7. It's going to be a good one, that's for sure. We'll see what happens. Dare DeMartille able to make history here last year. What do you think, Mark? Can Dare repeat and do it again for Beta?
You know what? I think he's got a good shot at it. He was on the gas yesterday. There is 5 or 6 guys that can win up there. In 250 class, the same thing. Like there's lots of people that Mason has dominated this year, but there's lots of guys that are hungry, and guys like Dustin Davis, who is kind of in uncharted territories. He's done a really good job kind of jumping into this pro class, got his first podium earlier this year, and there's not just those pro classes out there. We have expert classes, we have plus 25 junior classes. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the head of the Taylor Swift's fan club out there. Trevor Hunter, unfortunately, is injured, so he won't be in the plus 25. But Nick Nays is somebody to look out for in that. I have to race against him in the 30 class, and he's definitely a tough contender. And then Kai Hunter, Kodiak Lehman, both guys that have come up through the NGPC series. I've raced against Kodiak's dad, Oakley. Kodiak's done a lot of testing for us, but and then Kai naturally back from injury right before the break. The race right before the break, he's coming back from that. So lots of guys out there, and these guys want to win. Right there, Lyndon Snodgrass. There's no telling what he's going to do. I mean, we know he's got a good bike. Bones and the pro circuit team over there giving him a KX450, and so it's definitely a fun thing for us to see.
Yeah, some interesting news out of pro circuit as well too. They had a tough break yesterday where Giacomo Redondi, we just saw moments ago on the 18, he actually blew up an engine. There he is right there, the 18. But they told me it's good to be on Mitch Payton's squad because they had an extra bullet in the trailer, changed it last night, and they feel like they've got that machine shored up. And I said to Giacomo, hey, if you're going to have problems, Saturday's the time to have them, right?
Exactly.
And make it count here on race day. If you guys are new to this series, remember it's a dead engine start. We will not use a gate here at this track. They will have to shut them off, and then in one motion, when the light turns green, they will start it up and take off, and we'll see who gets the whole shot here. And
they're shutting them down right now, so that means there's a flag that goes up, and then about five seconds after that, then the light goes green. But it's going to be definitely interesting to see what these guys can do.
Here we go, guys. It's whole shot time here from round number 7. Who will gain the edge? Who will gain the advantage as we get ready to send our open pro category off? 90 minutes, and we are racing. Keep an eye on that Yamaha. Here comes Giacomo Redondi. Where's the 5-time? Right onto the roads. Tough, varying terrain here, and is the orange bike out in front? Is that the 5-time, or is it his brother Mateo? We'll tell you here in just a second. This course a little bit different than what we saw last year. Are some new sections here, and boy, it is fast. It is wide open, but it looks like 2 orange bikes pretty close to the front right now as we turn our attention to our Pro 2 category. Who will get the whole shot here? Keep an eye on the orange bike of Mason Simmons, trying to lock things up.
Whoa,
there as well. Whoa,
nailed that.
Nailed it. Somebody get him to the drag races. He's got the clutch hand down, working the gas. Nice, clean start. And boy, he's got clean air in front of him. Great job, JP. Finished second here last year to Mason Simmons. Said he feels pretty comfortable coming in this year. We'll see if he can have another epic run. As we turn our attention to our next row. Ready to go. This place is absolutely packed. There's the number 1 of Michaela Moto KK Nielsen. Somebody out in front, though.
Ava nailed that start.
Ava Silvestri. She was able to take a win overseas at IDSE. And ISD, thank you very much. Let me get my alphabet soup right here. Thank you. But yeah, how about Ava coming home with some hardware? Congratulations to her, trying to keep that momentum up and trying to dethrone Michaela, I believe this will be our 25-plus start right here. As you mentioned, unfortunately, racing without our good buddy Trevor Hunter, who was injured during Best in the Desert qualifier. We hope to see him back at Laughlin the next round coming up in a couple weeks. Looks like these Kawasaki boys are cleaning up.
I think that's Nick. I think that's Nick Nays out front. He's a great starter and gets out and sprints. So if that is Nick, then but yeah, he's definitely we are going to be talking about Nick in this race. He's motivated to make some moves and go fast.
And here we go, another start coming at you as we continue on to send this one away. We thank our great sponsor, Seat Concepts, Precision Concepts. Mark, I got to tell you, I just posted a video, too, on Cycle Drag Facebook of the great Mark Tilley nailing a whole shot, so you guys will have to check that out later. How difficult is that going from the loamy sand section onto the road, back onto what looks to be maybe some hard pack stuff?
It's actually kind of fun. Because you get some power, and once you get on the road, once you spin a little bit, and then you go right back off, and it's kind of they've done such a great job manicuring that first turn and letting it be deep enough to where you can kind of just stand up going around it. It's pretty nice. Like I said, these guys have done an amazing job. Right here, you're seeing, I believe that was the plus 25 class, and they are going to do that, and then they come back on the road. And then you go off the road again. There's some little holes right there that can jump up and grab you. But then, so this section is all kind of hard packed. It's usually it's kind of blue groove, but like I said, they've gotten some rain up here and some water, and they make it to where it's a little bit. There's more lines out there. But it's definitely kind of all this side of the course is kind of blue groove, and then you get into the other side, and it's a lot loamier. I wouldn't say sand. It's just desert. But it's kind of a mix of sand and some silt. It would get really silty if they didn't water it. But like I said, these guys did a great job on preparing this course for these guys, and this is midday, so.
Well, guys, we got a long way to go. We're off and running. Remember, these are 90-minute affairs, so stay with us. When we return, we'll sort it out and give you an updated running order plus a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. FMF presents Round 7 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC Series hosted by the Viewfinders, and we will return right after this.
Every generation believes they've invented the best way. With age comes wisdom. We've come to realize that every piece of knowledge is learned, passed down from those generous and patient enough to teach.
Take a look.
Legacy. It's not about leaving something behind to be remembered by. It's realizing that the future lies within the next generation.
Let's call it a night. All right.
The nature of true progress is humbly building something bigger than yourself. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. This is our legacy.
This was a sound. Can change direction like that. Speeds not of this earth. I don't know Ace's soul who has clearance on H2. But then again, I just drive the damn thing.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are trying to get a close look with all these championship battles to see who is checking out, who is flying. We got a lot of people flying down there. Welcome, by the way. You guys are watching round number 7 of FMF Presents the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series, hosted by the Viewfinders, Jack Corpella of the Racing Jack YouTube channel, and Mark Tilley of Dirt Bike Magazine here with you. And, Mark, we're off to a heck of a start.
Well, and while we were away, or while we were at commercial break, you got to see kind of an overview of what the course is. This is the section that we got to see in the track preview over on the far side that's Lomi. And it looks like the brothers are out front. I think that's a 5-time champion. I think that out front right now we have Dante out front, and we got word that might be Dare in second.
I'll have to get some eyes on that. Is that the beta or is that Mateo? Mateo, by the way, I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him, Mark. He's put on 25 pounds, he's telling me. Changed his diet as we get closer. Is that the orange bike or is that the beta 480 RR? We will get a close look here.
That looks like an orange bike. It looks like Mateo. No, it I think it is Dare. And like Dare has gone really fast here in the past. Dare has that unique kind of riding style that when he's having fun, you know he's having fun. And so now we come back into the moto section. So that is the champ out front. It's hard to bet against that man right there.
Yeah, he looks like he's on one today. Remember, last year at this race, actually was returning from injury. That was the case for Mason Simmons as well. You've got a healthy Dante Oliveira today. You've got a healthy Mason Simmons. That could be bad news for the rest of the field. This is what we like to call our hard cam shot. We actually have a photographer on this one. This isn't a drone shot, so we'll have to see if we can get a look behind Dante as to, was that Mateo or was that Dare? We'll know for sure, too, that once they cross the finish line for the first time, we will get data via their responders. We do know Dante is flying, though.
Well, and this is, like I said, this is the moto section, so this is right before they start coming back towards the finish line. And that looks like Mateo. That's Mateo. And then it looks like Justin Heff or on a Yamaha. It looked like number 27, but it might be our number 239 on that Yamaha. But these jumps are pretty big, too.
Wow, they sure are.
Man, I got to give a shout-out to Ryan Abatoy at Rad Graphics. He makes the T-shirts for this, and Mateo is on the T-shirt, and it's one of the coolest T-shirts I've seen in a long time.
He's got some great gear over there. It was wonderful to talk to him as we get a look at our Yamaha finish line right now. All right, we'll get them as they come through. We are underway, about 7.5 miles. About a 12-minute lap time is what we're running. Talking to a lot of the teams, everybody expected to pit around the hour mark to come in, but this could be, don't want to be a pessimist here for Team Beta, this could be bad news for Dare DiMartile if we have not seen him yet. We expected him to be one of the front runners as he battled all last year with Dante Oliveira here at this racetrack. But Dante with something to prove. You know, when Dante comes back to one of these racetracks that he didn't do as well as he wanted to the year before, he seems to have a little chip on his shoulder. And there is little bro. Shouldn't call him little anymore, though. Mateo. So here comes Heff. Who's right behind Heff? It is the 24, Tyler Lynn. And there is Dare DiMartile. So Dare running 5th, still within striking distance, but it's never too early to say these guys better not let Dante get too far away.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely can't. So looks like a new Pro Circuit Edition Lyndon Snodgrass coming through, and then right behind that was Giacomo Redondi. So again, stage set out front. You got the champ out front, his brother chasing him, and then you got Justin Heff on his Yamaha, and then Tyler Lynn, and then Dare DiMartile right behind him. So setting up to be a great race, and as you can see, not much dust. I mean, there's sections of dust, but remember, we are in the middle of the desert. So these guys doing an amazing job putting this course together and making it to where there isn't that these guys can race this close, because a lot of times in the summertime, coming back from summer break, it's hard to get water on these courses, and that definitely hinders the racing and what we can see.
Derek DeMartell trying to go to work with that Beta 480 RR. What a season it's been for them. It's been great to talk to their team over on the Supercross side with Benny Bloss and Mitch Oldenburg, Carlin Gardner, and all those guys. They really made a huge impact, and I know they're all watching today to see what Derek DeMartell can do. It's a big, big race day all across this nation. Of course, we got the nations going on as well. So good luck to all the countries. Good luck to the good old US of A. A lot of eyes on that. A lot of eyes right here out in the desert to see who will get the win and will we potentially crown any champions. Tyler Lynn looking great as well on the 2-4, coming off a second-place performance at Best in the Desert's Vegas to Reno. He tells me he's getting ready for the Baja 1000 coming up. What a great desert racer he is. And certainly somebody who has come into his own. Here's a big storyline, too, that I love to talk about, Mark, is we always wonder who could challenge Dante. Well, Mason Simmons, if he locks up the championship today, he says he'll be on a 450 for our next and final race at Laughlin. And you just wonder, could Mason be the next to step up and challenge Dante?
Yeah, I definitely think that when Mason goes into this next year, he's going to be a somebody to be reckoned with in the 450 class. The one thing in timing and scoring right now, unless his transponder is not working, I don't see Mason coming through yet. I see Sam out front in the 250 class, Jake Alvarez behind him, Cole Zeller right behind him, but I don't see Mason anywhere on there. Hopefully that is a timing and scoring glitch as of right now, but that could have some implications on his championship as well.
And that QR code that you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you scan that. Our very talented director, Aaron Kennard of L&M Media Productions, I'm sure he will put it up for us again, as well as the Gas QR code. Make sure you scan that because you will have an opportunity to win a 2025 Beta 450 RX. We'll be giving that out October 26th in Laughlin, Nevada. But keep an eye out for that gas code coming up as well, because we're giving that out today. An electric mountain bike. It is a gas MTB 2.0 cross-country machine. Stay tuned for that. Get your cell phones ready and scan your QR code. Tickets only $5 each. What an opportunity.
Timing and scoring and our remote spotter, Scott Perkins, coming in and telling us that Mason Simmons is up to 3rd overall in timing and scoring. I don't know if that's a possibility, but timing and scoring shows him in 3rd overall. We'll have to double check on that, because that would be that he was almost flying on the first lap.
Well, what do we like to say? Officially unofficial, and I am going to say this. It is close to Halloween. There is a section here called the Graveyard. We could have a few ghosts and goblins in there. And look at the junkyard.
They're going through the graveyard or the section of that, right?
Anybody need any car parts? Come on down here to Ridgecrest, California. Good. You ever wonder where all the old vehicles go?
Well, there's Mason Simmons right there. So there's no way he's in 3rd overall.
He looks good, though. It appears to be leading
behind
Pro 2, right?
Snodgrass. Or no, he's behind Redondi. That's Redondi going into the Boneyard, I think is what they call that section. And they haven't touched that section in 20 years. Like, I'm hitting some of those same bumps that I was hitting 20 years ago. So it just hurts a little bit more now. So we have more breaking news that it sounds like that we just heard that Michaela Nielsen broke her hand playing water polo earlier this week.
Man.
So she's out here riding with we don't know the extent of it, but she's out here riding with a broken hand. So as things develop in that, Ava has been stepping up her game this year, immensely. So she's not going to be able to just kind of ride around and just get through stuff. She's going to have to push it. So Ava might smell some blood in the water and go after it.
Well, that's an opportunity that I know Ava's going to relish, and you got to go after it, because just like Dante in the 450 category, just like Mason in the 250 category, Michaela has been so incredibly dominant. And I do know last night we were walking over to do some interviews, and Michaela was not feeling well. She was actually asleep in her motorhome. We didn't want to bother her, so hopefully she got the sleep she needed. But it's got to be tough to be out there with a broken hand with how choppy this race course is. I was able to speak with Travis from TBT, tried to pick his brain. I said, what are you doing to the suspension? He said, here it's about speeding up the rebound to get the rear wheel back down on the ground quicker, because it's so choppy and difficult to navigate.
Yeah, and it's suspension setup. The guys at Precision Concepts, Ryan from Precision Concepts is down there, and he has a lot of these guys that are in this pro class that are running Precision Concept suspension. I'm lucky enough to be able to run that stuff as well. But so he's setting up bikes as well, and was saying the same thing. So it's definitely, like I said, there's Mason running behind Pro Circuit's Giacomo Redondi. Timing and scoring has him in third, but I think he's leading the Pro 2 class, but probably in about 9th or 7th, somewhere right in there. So I think we caught up with Mason to talk about what he's been doing, what's going on. Let's see what he has to say.
What is so compelling and intriguing as the season winds down is you start to get a glimpse of who could potentially step up next year. And just like everybody is anticipating Hayden Deegan's arrival in 450, how about this man right here, Mason Simmons? Congratulations. You've got a chance to lock that championship up in the 250s here today. And you're telling me if you do a 450 next race, is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see how we go. And plan is to wrap up championship and then go to the 450 at Laughlin. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the 450. It's a bike that suits me well, I feel, being a bigger rider and all that stuff. So, yeah, all things go to plan. We'll start at the 450.
What do you think it is that has made you so dominant here in the Pro 2 category?
I'm not sure. Just trying to be consistent. I mean, bit of experience, I guess. And just, yeah, putting in the work. I mean, it's just, you know, you put in the work, you get the results. So, yeah, it's all been going to plan. This year's been going really well. I've only lost one race, I believe. I think it was Delano. I got second to Colton. So, yeah, looking to hopefully get another win here and, yeah, wrap this championship up.
I can see you're a bigger guy and you're healthy now with your recent surgery. Do you feel like you're well suited for a 450? Is that a difficult transition for you to make that step up?
Not really. No, I've always loved riding a 450. I've actually been riding it a bunch lately, and yeah, feel really, really comfortable on it. Bob Bell's done an awesome job again on the suspension, and yeah, feel right at home. Did some nationals on it early in the year, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going. I've been on a 250 for 10 years now, on the KTM 250, so it's time to step up. I'm 24, and I think it's a perfect time to go to the 450 class.
Well, incredible run in this category. So final question for you, and not to be a pessimist here, but I'm sure you know there's a guy over there in the 450s on another orange bike that's been a bit of a problem for everybody else. Do you think you potentially have the speed to run with Dante Oliveira?
That's a hard question. Time will tell. I'm not going to say nothing right here, that's for sure. Obviously, he's a 5-time champion for a reason, looking to be 6 here soon. So I'm just looking forward to getting that class. You know, there's obviously a lot of riders that can, compete against Dante also. So it's not just Dante we've got to worry about. But, yeah, I mean, time will tell. Looking forward to getting that 450 and, yeah, hopefully run with them boys.
Well, I know he's competitive, and I like the fact that he's smiling about it. And guess what? Competition, it's good for the riders, it's good for the teams, and it's good for us fans. Can't wait for 2026. Looking at now, hey, big shout out to Brooklyn. She got an autographed Mason Simmons jersey yesterday. That was pretty cool. What an awesome souvenir. Thank you, Mason. But hey, the way it's looking right now, if he keeps it up, if he keeps it clean, Mason Simmons from Australia, this could be it. This could be his final ride in the 250 category. And like I said, hey, the more the merrier. Jump up into that 450 category. If anybody knows what it takes to run with Dante, it's his KTM teammate, Mason Simmons.
Yeah, and Mason's actually on the RPM KTM team. Don't know how many parts are shared across the board or whatever, but Mason, just off the track, Mason's a great guy to talk to. I mean, all three of those Australians, Lyndon, Mason, and Sam, are all great guys to talk to. Just out here, it looks like they're really having fun. And I've seen Mason ride a 450, and I think he's faster on a 450 than he is on a 250. He kind of uses the power a little bit little bit more, but it is going to be very interesting to see. I think he's going to be a contender right out of the gate. As we go back to the champion, and in the moto section, coming back through the whoop section right here, right before he comes into the timing and scoring area. But like I said, this is the motocross section here at the Ridgecrest Fairgrounds, and those jumps are definitely, those two right there are definitely a lot bigger than they look on TV, that's for sure.
The 5-time champ trying to cruise to 6 here today, the one and only Dante Oliveira. I always sing the praises of Dante. I truly believe one of the most talented dirt bike riders in the world today. Remember, he went east, won a GNCC race, just returned from the International 6 days. Didn't go his way, unfortunately. Every time I talk to them, when I ask Dante Oliveira and his mechanic, Bobby Dawson, about their ultimate goal and about what's next, they really want to win 6 days, and they said, we're just going to keep on trying until it goes our way. They've had some tough luck over there, though.
Yeah, well, and the crew at KTM puts a lot of effort into the International 6 Days Enduro. Auntie Keelan does a great job with, I mean, he has all the meals planned out for the riders on the teams and when they're going to be walking and all kinds of stuff. So it's definitely, now we're coming back into the Yamaha scoring chute and finish line, and you can see there's Dante coming through with his brother. Not that far behind him. Maybe some of that muscle that he put on in the off season is helping him out and helping him stay up there. But you know, Mateo is definitely somebody to be reckoned with, and he's not letting his older brother get away. And Dante's always said that Mateo's just a click off, and once he finds that extra little gear in there, then he's definitely going to be all over him. So he's got to keep it going. And when you got somebody like Mateo chasing you, again, another 1-2 brother punch, just like what we're seeing in motocross for the Lawrence brothers. These are the Oliveira brothers, and they're definitely just as dominating when it comes to the off-road segment as what those guys are in the motocross segment.
That's what I was just going to say. Tell me it isn't exactly like the Lawrence brothers, where Jet's just a little bit faster than Hunter, but Hunter keeps closing the gap. It seems like it's the same way with Dante and Mateo, and I'm really impressed too with Mateo. I asked Mateo how he put on so much weight in the last 3 months. Dante says it might be closer to 20, 15 pounds. He might be exaggerating a little bit. Mateo says 25, but remember the way that this sport is, this time of the year, you can't really be pounding the heavy weights. You don't want to be too stiff. It'll hinder you. Mateo says he can do that during the off-season. That's the time to pack on a little muscle, but you need to stay pretty limber for this anaerobic 90-minute affair. So 25 pounds is no joke. I asked him how. He said he's just been eating his girlfriend's cooking.
Wow.
Yeah, she must be cooking him some good stuff, huh?
Got to be some good stuff there, so it's definitely a good thing for him. So we've seen everybody come through, and in our timing and scoring, it still shows Mason in third, but we've seen that that's not true. And then, but like I said, in this section, this is the harder packed section of the course. But I mean, these guys did such a great job on prepping this course that there's still lines. There's still multiple lines in there. There's still moisture in there. It's not hard packed blue groove like it has been in the past. And again, we are literally in the middle of the California desert.
We certainly are, guys, as we welcome you once again to FMF Presents Round Number 7 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC Series, hosted by Viewfinders. Livestream presented by Honda. We thank all of our great sponsors: AHM Factory Services, Seat Concepts, Skaggs Racing, and Precision Concepts. We are so thankful that everybody's watching live. Drop us a comment on YouTube if you have any questions. Thanks for watching here on the NGPC YouTube channel, and thanks for growing this outlet. That's what we want to do as we strive to bring you this action no matter where you may be. There may be some factory teams and some buddies over in Crawfordsville, Indiana right now at Ironman, keeping close tabs on their favorite NGPC racer. I'll tell you what was cool, Mark. This was awesome. On Racing Jack YouTube on Friday, I got to cover Media Day for Day Nations, and I wore my NGPC shirt. I had a lot of people shouting me out, hey, NGPC, NGPC.
That's pretty cool.
I had your buddy Kyle Wolf from Dirt Bike Magazine come up to me and talk about what a great job he feels like Mark Tilley is doing on the broadcast. He said I was substandard, subpar. He said I was holding my own, but he really wanted to thank Mark Tilley. And I just thought it was cool. This is why I want to thank Honda and NGPC and all these great sponsors, because it's a small little niche community that we're in, and everybody knows everybody, and it's pretty cool that they're watching us over in Indiana and elsewhere when we host races like this.
Yeah, we're watching them and they're watching us. So if you want to scan that QR code in the bottom left for that bike on the bottom right, we're giving that away, and I believe it's going away today. So
yes.
Scan that thing now, and you have a really good. I'm going to get my phone out and scan that bad boy.
You should.
I want one of those things. So scan that. Gas is supporting the series with this giveaway bike, and so scan that QR code, do what it says, and go from there. So it looks like things are starting to heat up right here. I believe that's Justin Heft and Dare DiMartile. They're making that section look ridiculously easy. Like those are 4 or 5 foot just drop-offs that they're just skimming across. One year we actually that trailer that's there. One year we actually went through the middle of it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was a little different. But so now this gets into the section of the track. Again, higher speeds, but this is a softer terrain, more like what you'd find out in the middle of the desert. But like I said, these guys had some rain, able to get lots of moisture on the course, so these guys are able to stay this close. If there wasn't any water, and these guys haven't been watering at night for the last couple weeks now, these guys wouldn't be able to stay within 15 feet of each other. So, but again, I think this is the only course that has 3. I think there's 3 different pavement sections. So throwing some different terrain at the riders. So, but Justin Heft doing really good on his Simi Valley Fast House backed YZ450.
Yeah, it's great to see him back. Remember a couple years ago he won the 2-stroke nationals, right? He really seemed to be on a roll, and then unfortunately battled injury and some adversity and some hardship. So it's wonderful to see him back. Health is such a huge part of this sport. And Mason Simmons continues to lead. It looks like he's got about an 11-second lead over Sam Pashira. JP Alvarez, who finished runner-up here on the Kawasaki, rounding out your top 3. Cole Zeller, number 4. And also another man who says he's feeling healthy, that's the Cowboy Colton Eck. He's had kind of a tough year with concussions and injuries, so it's great to see him back on the bike, feeling good, and we'll see what he decides to do next year, because he wants a shot at this Pro 2 title. Colton was actually able to win this race last year. We'll see what happens, guys, as Seat Concepts brings you this great drone coverage. Our team, L&M Media, Ross Fitz Productions, Aaron Kennard, doing a great job. Not easy to cover a 7.5-mile course, but they are doing it for you. So we appreciate you guys watching so much.
Not only a 7.5-mile course, but we're not that far out of town. So we're about maybe a quarter mile out of town one way. There's all kinds of telephone lines and power lines and all kinds of stuff out here. So these drone guys, they give us the coolest shots, and there's a lot more that they're navigating than what we can see. And we're here at, I believe this is called the Empire Fairgrounds, Ridgecrest Empire Fairgrounds. We used to actually go through the fairgrounds and through some of the bull rings or the horse rings and stuff like that. And I'm kind of happy that we don't do that anymore, because they always threw in a water hole, and it wasn't like a water jump; it was just a water hole, and you had to go through it. So it was they're definitely making progress on the course design and on the course preparation. The Viewfinders, again, doing an amazing job this week.
No doubt about it. That's our buddy Max Massano working the drone. He is a black belt when it comes to keeping up with everybody here on the L&N Media crew. Thank you so much for that, guys. We got about 30 minutes gone, an hour to go. That means 30 minutes to pit stop. Still a lot can happen. We've talked about some of the leaders, some of the stalwarts being out in front, but we have seen it time and time again. Do not count on anything until this one is over. I mean, look at what happened to Giacomo Redondi yesterday. You're talking about a pro circuit bike, top-notch motorcycle, and it blew up, seized up. Dare DiMartile actually had to give him a ride back And that's rare for those guys. They were all scratching their head. They didn't know what happened. They said it was a new bike and new engine, not many hours on it. And unfortunately, they sacrificed one to the aluminum gods.
Well, and that's one of those things. Brand new team at this. Not a brand new team at racing, but a brand new team at this. They have lots of people behind them and lots of parts. I mean, who has extra engines? Like, I would imagine that there's not very many other teams out here that are going to have an extra engine. They might have an extra bike, but extra engines just waiting, ready to go. So I also got to give a shout out to one of my test riders, Harlem Nelson, back from injury. He's been out for a month and a half. Finally got him back to do some testing on the 2026 Honda 250F, and I believe in his return to racing, he's running third place in his class right now. That's the 4-stroke A class. So he's doing a great job in the coming back from injury. So shout out to Harlem and the Nelson family for here that is going to be cheering him on.
Sam Prochira putting in some hot laps, trying to chase down Mason Simmons. According to our live timing and scoring, 11 seconds behind. JP Alvarez, 39 seconds behind here in the Pro 2 category. As we get a good look at it, JP really feeling comfortable out there on that Kawasaki as well. We'll see if he's whipping it out.
It's nice to see JP back. He's been off and on for the series all year long. I think he's been doing some work stuff, but doing some more moto stuff. I've seen him at Paris Raceway when I was taking my son Austin, just got an 85, so taking him there on mini night the last few weeks and kind of getting some pointers from JP and going fast. I mean, JP definitely on a motocross course can go fast, but it's nice to see him back. We're glad to have him back out here and working up front for some wins. And it looks like the plus 25 junior class right now, we have Baker, Megla, and Nays. Nick Nays was the guy we were talking about earlier. Nick only about 30 seconds off that lead. Nick is in really good shape. He is going to be there at the end. Like I said, I have to race against him in the 30 class, and you're always looking over your shoulder, waiting to see where he's at, and he's always up front. He always gets a start, but so hopefully Nick can pull one out again. And the 2-stroke A class earlier this year, Mr. Lord, we interviewed him, and he's doing multiple race series. I believe he's from up Northern California, Central to Northern California area, but he's new to the A class, and making it look easy, actually.
Well, there's a man making it look easy right there. The big number one of the 5-time champ, Dante Oliveira, out for a Sunday ride here at Ridgecrest, California. He is your leader. Cool spectator vantage point there, too, to get up on the bridge. That is awesome. A lot of places to watch here as we give you a look at the Yamaha finish line, as we still got 54 minutes left to go in this race. Round number 7. Can't believe it's already the penultimate round before we get to Laughlin, Nevada. Next round in just a couple weeks. There won't be a whole lot of time to recover or rest as we send them through. Mark, I know a lot of people excited about that. Been there for Best in the Desert a few times. In fact, they'll be there the week before us. But Laughlin, a great place to host a race. And we've got somebody.
He's just pulling
over. There we go.
That's somebody that's aware of what's going on. That's pretty nice. I'm not sure
Dante was behind him. Didn't even get the blue flag either.
Yeah, so that's Mateo still right there. Looks like Dare has made the pass on Hef and is in 3rd overall now.
Still very much in the mix.
Yeah. So
very much in the mix.
Definitely making some moves and looking to see if he can work his way to the front. I believe the next person we're going to see is going to be Tyler Lynn on that SLR Honda. And that looks like that would be Tyler right there. So I think the next person we're looking for is Lyndon Snodgrass. We might see Mason in between because Mason had passed Giacomo. So yeah, I believe that is Mason right there.
Wow.
So Sam Perkins can see where Mason is right now, and then I believe this should be Snodgrass coming in. Now, he's testing some parts for the Pro Circuit team doing some testing and helping with some development. So Lyndon right there on the Pro Circuit in Kawasaki. And then that was second place. That's Sam coming through on his Husky. And then that's we're seeing how fast they go down the live. They run live pits here at the NGPC series. So if the riders need to pit, that's where they have to do the pitting. But it's live, so they can come in at any point in time, which is kind of nice because then that leaves it open to strategizing on when they're going to pit and when they're not going to pit.
About 20 minutes to go until we see the leaders come in for pit stops. We'll see if there's any sneaky strategies out there, especially with our top 5 being so close together. That was a great view, too, at the Yamaha finish line. Tell me Mason Simmons isn't just ready to step right up there into that mix. I would have loved to have seen him blast off the 450 starting line today because, he would be right there with those guys. Started like 30 seconds behind. I believe it's a 30-second interval, and he is running just as quick on the 250. So we will see it soon enough, and if it stays this way, we'll see it in Laughlin, Nevada at the next round coming up in a couple weeks. Now, as for Dare DeMartille and his father, Brody, they said that bike is exactly the same other than different tires this year. They're running the Bridgestones on that machine, and Brody did tell me that he was a little concerned about the dust, the sand here. He said this is a track where you got to put a cover over the air filter that like a lot of these teams do to make sure the bike can make it to the end, and I was trying to steal as many secrets as I could off of Brody because he knew how to get it done last year. So we will see what happens as we continue to work our way through this one. It is round number 7, penultimate round for the AMA National Grand Prix Championship Series, presented to you by Honda. Thank you so much. Seat Concepts, another one of our great sponsors up there, as we thank AHM, Skaggs Racing, and Precision Concepts. And guys, have you got in that raffle yet for the Gas E MTB 2.0 cross country bike? If you haven't, make sure you scan that QR code. Everybody get involved in that. We're giving it out today. Somebody walking away with a brand new bike. Also get in that raffle for the Beta 2025 450 RX. That'll be raffled off during our next round in Laughlin, Nevada.
Well, I'm sitting here giving Mr. Perkins a bad time about the live timing and scoring, and I didn't think that he's watching on the app and on the NGPC app, and that's overall with time corrections. So he's yelling at me on my text messages telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Really not. But so Scott bringing in some very interesting information. He says that on timing and scoring, Mason Simmons is 4th overall. His 3rd lap was only 9 seconds slower than Dante.
Wow.
So, and difference between 250, 450. So what we're seeing right now, this is what we call the asphalt section. And that is just asphalt. Like it's kind of formed into whoops over the years, but it's just loads of asphalt that you go through there. It brings a very interesting aspect into the race because how often are you training on asphalt? Like, and chunks of asphalt, not just on, asphalt that you see on the street or whatever. And then it goes into some sections that, like I said, in these sections, they don't touch these sections, so they're pretty rough. I think they'll go through some of the turns and stuff like that and smooth them out. But there's just a bunch of stuff there, and then you kind of right before what we were talking about of the boneyard, where these guys are right now. Sam's going to make a left-hand turn here and then a quick right after a little single, and it's a section of dirt, whatever terrain, that it gets really, really hard packed, and then they throw water on it, and it's like riding on a slip and slide. But that's the only place on the whole course that it's like that. And then this is what we call the boneyard. This is, like I said, those things are 4 or 5 feet tall, and they're just kind of skimming over the top of them. So it's pretty amazing what these guys can do.
And is this Sam Procera coming up on? Is that Giacomo Redondi he's coming up on?
I believe that's Lyndon.
Lyndon, okay. Battling.
And these guys are buddies. Like, these guys are, I believe they might even be renting the same house together with Mason as well, I think.
Super cool.
So, yeah, so if Lyndon can kind of jump onto the back of Sam, he might be able to get some of those positions back that he's lost.
Let me ask you this, Mark, from what I'm seeing. I mean, I would have assumed with this being such a wide open track that the 450s would have a marked advantage here, but 250s between what Mason's doing and what Prachira's doing out there, they seem to be gobbling up some 450 bikes. Could the 250s have a bit of an advantage here with lighter weight?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. I would think that a 450 power would be an advantage like what you're talking about because it is wide open. And that's why I think that it's pretty amazing that Mason can run a lap time that close to Dante because there is a big difference between those two motorcycles. The KTM 450 has a lot of power, and that I haven't even ridden the factory one. So it's definitely, and then Mason being a bigger guy, it's definitely got to be a disadvantage for him. But hey, you never know.
All right, and I do believe L&M Media telling me which feature are we going to here, Aaron, as we continue on. Skag. Oh, we also want to thank Viewfinders for doing such a great job out here with the racetrack today. Let's learn a little bit more about the Viewfinders. I've told you we simply could not put on these races without our great clubs, and Viewfinders has done an outstanding job. Brian joins me from Viewfinders. Brian, great job. Everybody complimenting the track. Can you tell me a little bit about the process and how many guys you have out here to give us this quality of a racetrack?
Yeah, it's a big process. We have about 70, 75 people out here, plus volunteers from city organizations that help us out. A lot of equipment, a lot of water trucks, and it takes us a week to put this together.
Now, you just said water trucks, so I got to ask you, I heard there was a little bit of unexpected rain in the area. Did that give you any problems? Was there anything you had to overcome?
No, it was actually better for us because we didn't have to put as much water on the ground, and the water that was already there was helping, so it actually helped us out. There's a few communities around here locally, though, that weren't so lucky.
You being from this area, what's it mean to host an event of this magnitude, to see this many people here in Ridgecrest? How special is it for you and your team when you guys can pull this off?
It's really special because we also help a lot of the organization around here, the Future Farmers of America, the 4-H, some other organizations, local clubs, we help as well. So the money that we make goes right back in the community, as well as everybody that comes here. They need groceries, they need gas, motels, Airbnbs. So they're spending money here too. So for this community, it's quite a lot of help.
Brian, thank you so much, and a big thank you goes out to the Viewfinders. We simply could not do it without them. That's right. Viewfinders have done a tremendous job prepping this racetrack and making sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So thank you very much to them as we get a look. Is that Giacomo right there? Somebody flying on a green bike.
I believe that would be Giacomo because he's the one running a red helmet. So making that Pro Circuit Kawasaki look pretty good. I believe he's running overall should be about 13th place. So again, this section too is where you come out of a sandy section, kind of come back down. They've done a bunch of different configurations over the years. This was one to kind of help slow the track down. So this is on the ground in that. So that's JP and Cole Zeller going at it right now. And they're not that far behind the shot that we just saw of Giacomo. But again, that in years past, that section would have been a lot dustier than it is now. These guys being able to run right on top of each other like that. Whoa. JP wanted that. But being able to run right on top of each other just makes it better racing for the fans and better racing for everybody watching. And to be honest with it, it makes it better for the racers as well. So now they're going out into the section that we previewed in the track preview section. But again, lots of different line selections that they can go in this place. So again, JP and Cole Zeller going at it in their third and fourth, I believe, in the Pro 2 division, with Mason Simmons out front and Sam in second.
And Cole Zeller continues to get faster. You know, we're coming off a 4-month break. We call it a quote-unquote break, but none of these racers were idle. They were all competing. Got to see Cole Zeller at the AMA Pro Motocross final in Budds Creek, Maryland. He was out there, had a good showing. So Nobody's been sitting back on their hands. Everybody's been racing different series, and right now, what a battle between the Kawasaki and the Husqvarna. JP stalking, trying to find a way around. Cole Zeller shuts the door, holds his line. Two of the best young stars in our 250 category right now battling it out. Here comes JP back around. JP really liking the Kawasaki as well. Remember when he was on the small bore machine for so long, and he really says he's found a good home and keeps getting more and more comfortable on this Kawasaki. But right now, Cole Zeller, you got to tip your cap to him. He's not giving up an inch.
Yeah, no, Cole, like you said, none of these guys really take any time off. I mean, time off for them is maybe 1-2 race weekends, and then they're itching to figure out what they're going to do and where they can go race. And like I said, JP has done a little bit more motocross this year. I've seen him at motocross tracks while we're testing, doing stuff, so he's definitely doing a lot more. But it looks like he's got some lines that will cross.
Oh, here comes that Kawasaki. Can he get through? Can he make it stick? Pushes Zeller to the outside. Fistful of throttle. JP Alvarez makes the pass, but Zeller not ready to give up. Comes right back at him. What a great battle we're watching here in Pro 2 between Team Kawasaki and Team Husqvarna.
And that was a great pass. He set that up a couple turns before and just executed it. That was a really good pass. So now they're coming into the motocross section. JP is gonna, if he's feeling it, he whips it sideways and he starts flowing. He's kind of like Dare DeMartile to watch when they're starting to have fun. So JP moving himself forward on that Kawasaki. I hear rumors that the Pro Circuit team might be wanting to field a 250 rider here soon. Billy and the crew over there looking at options and looking at riders and stuff like that. Maybe a 250 rider. It might be something that they can work into, but JP might be auditioning for that right now.
Well, that would be great, and we really appreciate having all the teams out here. We want to see even more teams, and when it was announced this offseason that Mitch Payton's legendary Pro Circuit team was coming out, I was like, all right. And it was really cool going to a lot of the Super Motocross rounds to see Mitch Payton at every single one of those with the Pro Circuit team is so cool. Talking to Bones Bacon, the suspension expert, who we're so happy is back here. He was recovering from what was a tough few months for him, eye surgery and a few other things. Bones is back, and he says, hey, look, Mitch and I, we're the same. We just love racing, and that's what it's all about. And Mitch built such a successful company with Pro Circuit. He said Mitch is at a stage in life now where he just wants to go racing. He wants to manage the race team. He doesn't really want to run the business, and good for him, because that's what it's all about. That's the love that created the Pro Circuit empire.
Exactly, and I get to go to, I'm at Pro Circuit a couple times a week. I do a lot of stuff with Camila over there at Pro Circuit, and Dan and the whole crew over there at Pro Circuit. It's a great crew to be around. They have lots of people that are there that are enthusiasts, and Mitch is there all the time. Unless he's traveling to a race, he's there all the time. So it's definitely, it is a cool thing to see, and they want to win. They're not just here to be here. They're here to win races. And they will tell you that, and they will tell their riders that. And everybody that has ridden for Mitch in the past, although he's not the sole owner of the off-road side of the team, he will tell you that he expects to win. And it's a thing to where Monday morning they're going to say, okay, well, what happened? Like, why didn't we win? What's going on? What do we need to win? All that stuff. And they're giving their riders, just like the Kawasaki team before them, Robbie Bell and the Precision Concepts team, they're giving their riders everything they need to win races.
Well, Mark, we got a big update because right now you are looking at the injured Moto KK Michaela Nielsen, according to our live timing and scoring, running 3 minutes behind. Ava Silvestri, Moto KK, definitely off the pace, trying to gut this one out. She's definitely one of the toughest ladies out there, unfortunately racing with a broken hand. I told you we went to interview her last night. She was already asleep in the motorhome. I'm talking at like dinner time, not feeling so good. So really, Moto KK out there trying to, I believe if she finishes, don't quote me officially, I believe she'll be our champion. But right now, obviously not feeling good. She might have to pull off. I don't know.
I don't think she's going to pull off. I think that she's got a lot of grit behind her. But man, this is again striking why the iron is hot.
And how about Ava?
Ava Silvestri has put in lots of work.
Getting a little loose there.
Off-track excursion there, but she's put in a lot of work. She's really hard on herself when it comes to when she doesn't win or when she feels like she doesn't ride well. But this is definitely a life comes into fact when you're racing motorcycles and you're doing stuff, and there's off-track stuff that can happen as well. But there's lots of on-track stuff that can happen, and kind of when, like you said earlier, when you're challenged to go after somebody when they're down, hey, it's all fair and love and war and winning championships.
Well, health is a big part of it. Exactly. You got to stay healthy. And here's what I want to know, because you've kind of been the uplifting, optimistic interview coach for Ava. Before you interview her, you actually tell her, I don't want to hear any negativity. You did great. So if Ava's on top of the box today,
it might be a really good interview.
Could we see a different side of Ava?
Maybe a smile?
Or would she potentially tell us everything she did wrong? I don't know. We'll find out. She's still got a long way to go. 37 minutes. Like I said, she did a great job. Won the women's club race over an international 6 days, which was in what country this year?
I believe it was in Italy.
Italy. Okay, I'm going to have to. I'd be so awesome to get to one of those someday. Maybe that Dirt Bike Magazine budget could fly us over there one of those days. I'd love to see it. But Ava doing a tremendous job trying to continue her hot streak. And it's tough when you look at the sport of motocross. You look like right now, if it wasn't for Jet Lawrence, who would be the guy? We might be talking about Hunter Lawrence being the fastest thing out there. Ava is so fast. It is so impressive what she's done. But when you're behind somebody like Moto KK Nielsen, it's tough.
Yeah, it's
tough.
Definitely tough, and it's hard. I understand the frustration. It's hard to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself going. But again, she's doing a great job on a wide variety of types of riding. She does National Hare and Hound. She does the West Coast Hare Scrambles. She did 6 days. She does NGPC. So lots of stuff going on there that she's doing, and a very well-rounded rider. So
yeah, she's in great shape.
Yeah, so it's definitely nice to see, and we'll have to see what she says on the podium. But again, we're watching Ava, and there is multiple other classes out there. The plus 25 junior class that's coming up right now. Looks like our buddy Nick is still about 34 seconds out of the lead, with Baker in front and Megla in second, only about 25 seconds back. So there's a plus 25 class, there's a 2-stroke A class, there's a 4-stroke A class. And, I mean, these guys are all, except for the plus 25 class, kind of going a little bit farther forward. There's one of my test riders, Sean Lapinovich, on a Ride Engineering motorcycle project bike. Ride Engineering is one of our sponsors, and to save 25% off, scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. But Adrian at Ride Engineering doing a great job over there, bringing out motocross-style stabilizers that you can run, triple clamps with different offsets, the split type of triple clamp. I believe Jason from the Racer's Edge has some of the Ride Engineering stuff on display down there. But again, Adrian, another guy who's in this industry, but out at the track all the time. Out at the track doing stuff, coming up with new stuff, listening to what people are saying about bikes, coming up with different offset triple clamps that you can do, coming up with vibration damping bar mounts, all kinds of different stuff. And again, Adrian been around motocross and off-road for a really long time, and we're happy to have him on board as a sponsor. So click that QR code, 25% off. I mean, and I believe any NGPC racer gets a discount as well. So back out front with the champ, and it looks like he's still got a decent sized lead over his brother. I think last time we checked it was about 7 seconds. So we'll have to check in with that and see what's going on.
All right, and speaking of Dante Oliveira, we got to talk to him yesterday. Let's take it to the one and only 5-time, perhaps soon to be 6-time champion, Dante Oliveira. He's one of the most successful dirt bike racers in the world. He is the one and only 5-time champion, Dante Oliveira. But guess what? We could be calling him the 6-time champion after this weekend because, Dante, congratulations. You have again put yourself in a position to potentially clinch that championship here today. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Long but a short season with how the races go. But, yeah, it feels good. I have a great team behind me, and we put a lot of hard work in, so we can relax these last 2 rounds, which is nice and a blessing.
Now that you're such a veteran of the sport, what's different? What's different in 2025 compared to when you first started?
The nerves. Learning tracks. I know where I'm going now, and just knowledge with how to set up my motorcycle so I'm not chasing my tail and having to come in every lap during practice, and I can just focus on the track, focus on my lines, and just a little more confidence when it comes to fueling the body and preparing for one of these races.
All right, so here's the most pressing question I have to ask you, and I don't know how you're going to want to divulge information here, but if you can, we appreciate it. What advice would you give your competition on how to stop what is likely to be the 6-time defending champion, Dante Oliveira?
It's a hard one. Everyone's different, so can't say my program will work for everyone, but yeah, it's, I guess, hard work, but yeah, the grind. I don't know. You can't let off and can't get comfortable either. Everybody wants to win, so just sticking to it.
Now, this race specifically, Dare DeMartile was able to take the win last year. Would this mean a lot to you to be able to get a measure of redemption here at Ridgecrest?
Yeah, it'd be great. I like lining up and winning. Sure, last year Dare got the win, but I feel strong, feel ready to go racing, and excited for it. So, yeah, I'm hoping to have some good battles, but I want to get a good start and go and have some fun.
Last question for you. With everything that you have done, what is the ultimate goal for you? What is left to check off for Dante Oliveira?
Well, I'm racing the Hare and Hounds this year. We have 1 round to go, and yeah, it's a tight battle with me and Zane Roberts. So clinching that would be huge. It's a pretty gnarly, nasty series and just brutal racing. So if I was able to clinch that this here in a week, that'd be pretty huge.
Well, congratulations again. If it wasn't for just one little faux pas, Glenn Helen, he'd have a perfect season going. Dante Oliveira, again, proving why he is one of the best in the game today. And he's so competitive, Marks. I know that really bothered him that he didn't win here last year. It seems like anytime we go to a track where Dante had a problem the previous year, he just finds another gear somehow, and he is on it today. That's for sure.
Well, and a little bit of a fun fact. The guy that he said that he's battling with in the National Hare and Hound Series, also on a beta. So you can't get away from the beta guys. And it looked like that was Dante, and then that was Dare right behind him.
Wow. Well, we're going to have to update this because we're coming up on pit stops, I do believe. So heads up to our production crew at about the hour mark. These guys said they were coming in. We'll see if they could potentially come in this time by, but if that is Dare DeMartile, things have changed greatly. We'll wait and get eyes on that as we continue on. You know, and Dare last year, it seemed like as this race went on, he seemed to pick up a little bit more at the end. We got lap traffic, which could play a factor. As I told you, no flaggers out there, no blue flag wide, and that rider did do a great job, though. He knew the leaders were coming behind him.
And so that is a number 1, and that is Dare on a beta.
Get out of here. Is that Dare or is that Mateo? If we're going to have to get a close look. Now, did not come in for a pit stop. Okay, so Dante's going to push it another lap.
Yeah, whoever was behind him did come in for a pit stop because they're no longer there.
Uh-oh, and that does not look like an as-planned.
So that was, I believe, off to the right-hand side, we saw Dare go back out because Dare's in a white jersey. So that right there, that looks like that would be Dare, and that looks like Dare and Mateo.
So did Dare come in or did Dare stay out?
No, he had to have come in because he was closer to.
So this is interesting. If Dare came in but Dante did not, Dante still has to pit.
Come in.
And could that be, wow, pit strategy, just like NASCAR out here. we'll see. You know, I was talking to Brody. If he's leading, he likes to get in quickly. He likes to get it over with. But Bobby Dawson, perhaps KTM or Timmy Wygant, one of those guys over there making the call, leave Dante out. I'm sure they got their calculators out.
Yeah, so that was Dante coming back the other way. We're looking at second and third right now. That's Dare and Mateo. Now, also, when you put more gas in the bike, it gets heavier as well. If Mateo didn't come in, he's got a light bike. Dare's got what you would consider a heavy bike. It's not, 30 pounds, but it is going to be a fairly decent amount of weight because they are putting about 3 gallons back in it. So essentially, Dare's running with the same gas or pretty close to the same gas that he probably started the race with. So bike might react a little bit different because his bike did get light and kind of go there. Like I said, I remember my dad always telling me when we came in, the last thing he'd yell at me as I went out and we got gas going out of the pits is heavy bike. And just remember, hey, your bike's going to react a little bit different than it did this last lap. So this is interesting pit strategy. We'll see what goes on and see if they can come back. But again, the beta crew knowing what they're doing and pitting their rider, and now we'll see who falls into place after that. But right now we have Dante out front, Dare in second. It shows Justin Heff in third in live timing and scoring, but I believe that's Mateo in third. Heff might have come in after the scoring shoot for gas as well. And then Tyler Lynn, Snodgrass, Gradandi, Flores, Klein, and Tate rounding out the top 10.
And to your point, Mark, gasoline about 6 pounds a gallon. So you figure 3 gallons would be 18 pounds. That's a big difference. How much are they putting in these IMS big tanks?
They're about 3.1, depending on what they're running. So yeah, it's running up around 19 pounds. But again, on the screen, the enter to win the Beta 450 RX. Something similar to what Dare DeMartell is running right now, but scan that QR code and enter for a chance to win that. They'll be giving that away, I believe, at Laughlin, you said earlier, Jack. And the Gas mountain bike is going today.
Yes, it is.
Whoa, Mateo going underneath Dare. Almost got past him. But so there is the Gas. That is going away today. I think by the end of today, maybe even by the end of this broadcast they will be finding a winner for that. So enter right now, and those things are definitely not cheap. I remember seeing those at AEO Power Sports, and they're about $7,000 or something like that.
Wow,
so,
$5 gets you in, guys. Pull those phones out right now. Scan that QR code if you're watching us live, because we're giving this thing away. You've got a great chance to win it. Again, it is the Gas E MTB 2.0 cross-country machine. Big thanks to our friends at Gas and our friends at Beta for these wonderful giveaways. As we take a look, speaking of Beta, I know all eyes watching us. I'm sure the legend Rodney Smith watching right now. All the Beta boys hoping Dare can pull out some magic. It's going to be very interesting this time around. I wonder if it's an advantage for Dare to have Mateo breathing down his neck, maybe pushing him a little bit harder here, because he's got to close that gap. That's got to be tough that he can't. Dante's disappeared because Dante hasn't pitted. But you still got to push as fast as you possibly can, because Bobby D and their whole team are going to be quick with a pit stop.
Exactly, and it can work two ways. It can help him, or he can start riding behind him and thinking about what Dante's going to be doing. It's going to get really close after this because Dante is going to have to pit at some point in time, and I believe we'll see Dante out of the top of the screen coming back the other way. So there he goes. So they haven't lost a bunch of time. I mean, a couple seconds, and then that course will actually come back this way. Oh, Dare went down.
No, tough break, Dare DeMartell. Did we give him the announcer's curse? He was pushing so hard, and you know what? Mateo may have forced that. Mateo was putting so much heat on him. So tough break for Dare, but
that's where it can kind of hinder him. But having somebody behind you pushing and making you go as hard as you can, we'll see what happens, because I believe that Mateo is going to have to pit as well. So Mateo and Dante are going to have to pit. that could bring Dare back up, right on top of those guys.
Good news for Dare is he did recover quickly. So we will see what happens as we continue to roll through round number 7 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NG. All right, and we want to thank all of our great sponsors out there: AHM Factory Services, Seat Concepts, Skaggs Racing, Precision Concepts. And we're going to step away for 1 second, but stay with us, guys. We will be right back after this as we race to a thrilling conclusion. Ridgecrest last year, who could forget it? It was a historic race for Team Beta. The man next to me, Dare DeMartille, scored that all-important first factory Beta win, the 450 category. Dare, the big question, can you do it again?
Yeah, no, that's the goal. Is the track's very similar to last year, so if we can do it once, we can do it again. The number one man's riding good as always, but no, I'm excited for tomorrow. My Beta's riding great, and I'm excited to put this thing on top.
What do you think it is about this track that has you so dialed in here?
It's just similar to what the stuff I ride at home. It's just hard pack, high speed, lot like NorCal terrain, kind of how we have our track set up. So yeah, I've always gelled really well here and done good. I like the motocross track. Everyone puts on they put this event on. It's awesome, and there's so many varieties of track here. You have motocross, high speed, some technical. It's cool. So yeah, I really just gel here and trying to keep the momentum from last year and remember what I did last year and bring it this year. So.
Well, if we could kind of pry into that, I know you probably don't want to give away too many secrets, but talking about your racecraft and what you learned here, when you get out there, is it something where you want to hang with Dante and sprint at the end? Do you want to try to get as far away from him as possible? What is the strategy that you perfected last year?
Well, there's no real strategy here. It's the main strategy is just to get off the line in a good spot. And so if you get a hole shot, it's going to benefit you no matter what, just because you won't have to deal with roost. And we're all fast riders, so if you can get an edge on somebody by starting in front of them, that's a bigger deal here. And especially on these fast tracks, it's hard to pass. It's hard to get around people when you're going wide open. So main thing is just get a start and see how the race pans out from there. I don't really strategize anything. I want to get through the first turn in first, clean, and then set the race up like that. So that's the goal for tomorrow, is just to start off in front and get through that first turn clean, and then see what the race brings us.
It's pretty impressive what Factory Beta has been able to do here in dirt bike racing, and I know it must make you feel great to know that team manager of Supercross Carlin Gardner and legend Rodney Smith, they watch everything you do out here and they're very, very proud of you. What's that mean to you to know that they have so much focus on you and are so proud of you?
Well, it was my dream when I was a kid. I was thankful enough to have a dad like mine that supported me all throughout my career and was really, was how Carlin and Rodney are to me now. He's been my rock since day one. So that's really beneficial now to have legends like Carlin himself and Rodney and everyone that's a part of the whole Beta USA crew. And for them to help and support and watch me, it's a blessing for me. It really gives me more confidence and makes me feel really good. And I'm on an awesome motorcycle, so it all just works out really well. And me and the team and everyone gel really well together, and they love me and my dad's program, so it's been fun.
Good luck to you guys. He made history for Factory Beta last year. We'll see if he can do it again here in 2025. Yes, indeed, Mark. As we come up on that all-important pit stop, I do believe we'll see if how Dare shakes out after Dante comes in. Advantage for the KTM boys is they know they're probably not going to need much fuel at this point, right?
Yeah, unless the other thing we could be looking at is maybe they pitted earlier than what we thought. Maybe I don't remember seeing them pit, but maybe that's a different strategy that they're using. But that is Dare we're looking at, and if when we're away, unless something else happened, that will be Mateo right in front of him, and then they're about 6 seconds back. So they were coming into that's the motocross section, and we were seeing Dare and Mateo in the off-road section. So they will be coming into screen probably right about there. Will be So depending on where they're at, and again, unless there was some kind of pit stop. So that's Mateo that you see as the track winds back and forth. You'll see Mateo kind of come off that triple and go the other way, and then Dare's right there. So they're about 6 seconds back, I would say. But Dante can kind of judge that, because as you go through this motocross section, again, right here, he's going to make a left-hand turn and come back. Those guys will be making a right and coming back towards the whoop section. So that's Mateo. He's going that way. Dante's going the other way over the big jumps. So these guys right on top of each other. So we'll see what that pit strategy, with about 18 minutes left to go. I would think that they would have to be pitting this lap.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll see. Like I said, Team KTM down there, they are great at pit stops. They are quick. We'll see what happens. But kudos to Dare DeMartille, who went down. Doesn't seem to have cost him too bad. He's back on the rear fender of Mateo. And we'll see what happens as we head towards the Yamaha finish line here, guys. About 17 minutes remaining in this race. Remember, we'll go a minimum of 90 minutes. Here comes your 5-time coming through the chute here in just a little bit. We'll be saying 6 times soon, it appears, if this one stays the way it is. And look at all these riders running through. There he is. There's the champ.
Just saw Mateo and Dare come in over those jumps on the left-hand side of the screen. So we'll see if...
And here... Dante. You know what, Mark? Did we miss a pit? Have they already pitted?
Maybe we missed it. Maybe they pitted early.
We got to text Bobby Dawson. Let's get a spy down there. As we might have, they might have came in early.
And neither one of them is stopping. So Mateo and Dare right there in second and third. Neither one of the KTM guys stopped. So they either pitted early and we didn't see it, or they know something we don't. Because at about 12 minutes a lap, we're looking at about 2 more laps for this thing to be going. So we'll see what happens. Again, everything we say is officially unofficial, and we miss stuff because
that's true. Yeah, we can't see it all. A 7-mile course. I don't know if the factory mechanic's got his phone on him right now, but I sent a text just for the heck of it and asked Bobby Dawson, have you guys pitted already? Maybe your buddy Timmy Wygant could get to us as well. Oh, here we go. Bobby got back to me right away. He said beginning of lap 5, the KTM boys did pit. So, wow, we missed it. They came in early. They got it in out of the way, and kudos to Dante for building up that big of a lead.
Yeah.
So once again, guys, don't forget we're giving away a gas mountain bike today. Let's check out that QR code. There it is. Scan your phones right now. Oh, how many entries is Mark Tilley going to buy? I don't know if you're eligible, Mark. But everybody watching this right now, we'll give this away. Gas E MTB 2.0 cross country. Giving this away today. Electric mountain bike. Thank you so much, Gas. When we invite you to get in, jump in, scan your phone, and for just $5, you can take a shot at winning it. That thing is beautiful.
Those things are a blast to ride. My son Jacob has a Husky one, and they're a blast to ride. My dad rode it, liked it so much, we got him one too. So those things definitely fun little training tools, and good for going around the neighborhood as well. But lots of fun, and you can enter to win this one right now. This is the last call to be able to get this thing for, I believe, what'd you say, they were $5 for a ticket or something like that? So,
yeah, $5 for a ticket.
So yeah, for $5 you might be able to win one of these things, and they're like $6 or $7 grand. So yeah, we're watching the 5-time champion and maybe 6-time champion in a couple laps, knowing Bobby Dawson bringing them in early and getting them fuel in their motorcycles early. And so this is the asphalt section that I was talking about earlier. Like, it's kind of double through there, and then, but where else are you going to ride asphalt? Like, where can you go to train for that? There's not really anywhere you can do this. And in these sections, again, these are stuff that they don't really kind of prep. You just kind of ride in and out of all these sections. So definitely the champ out front, and now that we know that they have pitted, is looking really good in this overall event.
Yes, another mighty Herculean performance by Dante Oliveira. Bobby Dawson sent me some more information, said he pitted first and came out in first, and that is always a beautiful thing, especially with tight competition here. So as we get a closer look at Dante Oliveira, he just really seems to be on kill today. And like I said, I'm sure Dante had a little chip on his shoulder, little something to prove based on what happened here last year, and wanted to show everybody he's got the speed to not only just win it, but to be dominant. Keep this in mind, too. If it wasn't for one minor mistake at Glen Helen earlier this year where Dante went off the track briefly, he would have won every single race, putting in a Ricky Carmichael-esque back in the day performance, almost a perfect season for Dante Oliveira. It's just so impressive what he's been able to do out here in the NGPC.
Well, yeah, and what's impressive is this section right here, like I said, those things he's going over 4 or 5 feet tall, like they're just hammering through those like they're supercross whoops. And there's big rocks in there, there's chunks of asphalt, like it's pretty amazing. Like you got to come out and ride that section. I think we saw Michaela Nielsen going through there with her hand situation that she's going through earlier, just kind of rolling through stuff, and that kind of gives you an idea of how big that stuff is, how talented all of these riders are. And again, not just the pro class out there. There's plus 25 classes, there's 2-stroke A classes, 4-stroke A classes, the women's pro class. There's all kinds of people out there. So lots of action going on, lots of families out here supporting them.
We are racing to a conclusion here at the penultimate round, round 7, before we finish the 2025 campaign in Laughlin, Nevada. As of now, if things would stay the way they are, we could be crowning 3 champions here in about 15 minutes or so as Simmons looks to wrap it up. Now, let me ask you this, Mark, as a competitor. I talked about how tough it is being behind somebody who's dominant. Now, if you're in that 250 class and Simmons locks it up and steps up, how much hope do you now have if you're a Prachira, if you're an Eck, if you're a Zeller, knowing that he's out of there, he's not coming back?
It's a whole new, it opens up a whole plethora of kind of people thinking that they could win. And it's when you take that person out that has been dominant like that and put somebody in there, or take that person out of the equation altogether. Sam is definitely going to be somebody to contend with. Zeller as well. Alvarez may be coming back as well. Eck might go up to the 450 class, and we never know. He's a bigger rider, but it's definitely one of those things to where there's all of a sudden there's optimism injected into the veins of all those riders and sponsors. I mean, we could see some of these guys changing teams and getting better rides or going after different, being on completely different motorcycles. So definitely there is a lot more that can happen, and it motivates people. And I know that Mason is motivated going into the 450 class, and he's going to shake that class up too. So it's definitely, for a fan, it's great. For a racer, it's great. You know, for the series championship, it's a great thing. And it looks like our buddy Nick Nays is worked his way into second. Still about 50 seconds off the leader, but definitely working his way in, going to be able to cash in some of those Kawasaki contingency dollars.
Congratulations to him. Cubic dollars do help. And also congratulations to Ava Silvestri, because according to our live timing and scoring, she's put a lap on Moto KK. And you got to go back quite a few races to Ava's last win here at NGPC. So if she can hang on and make this one stick, big congratulations to her. I told you they worked so hard. That team deserves it. She's here with her mother, her father. Her father just had a hip replacement. He said as soon as he got home from overseas, he went in and did that. So big shout out to him. And you know he's going to be very, very proud of his baby girl. And we know there's a lot of people very proud of that man, Dante Oliveira, the big number 1. Soon to be the 6-time champion out here in NGPC. And you know there's been a lot said with everything that's happened with the Pierre Mobility Group, KTM, this year. How focused and committed do you think they remain to that man right there? Oh, Dante, maybe a little frustrated. Was somebody not totally out of his way?
He might have been saying thank you for moving out of the way, because they moved to the side for him, and I believe that was Lord who was winning, or who was leading the 2-stroke a class a little bit earlier. He was moving out of the way for him.
It's a fine line between thank you and some of the other signals that we've seen out there.
And the rider knows what signal he got. He knows if he got a thank you signal or he got a different kind of signal. So, but in the Pro 2 class, it looks like Mason's out front, but got about a minute lead over Sam, and then Jake Alvarez coming back to the NGPC series, and looks like he is in third. Doesn't look like he's got a big gap on Zeller, but he's got a few seconds on him. And then Bennett on his Husky, a newcomer to the NGPC series as well, with Colton, Gordon, and Davis, the top 8 in that class. As you mentioned, we have Ava Silvestri leading the women's pro class over Michaela Nielsen, who apparently was injured earlier this week, and then Ty Wolfslayer in third. It's going to be nice to talk to Ty. Hopefully she's a little bit more chatty on the podium. As she's up there, she kind of talks a little bit more, which is great. And then another one of these classes, the plus 25 junior class, we got Baker out front with about a 50-second lead over Nick Nays, and Megla in third, about a minute 14 seconds back. So, like we said, there's a lot of different classes out here. It's not just the pro class, and there's lots of great sponsors like Skaggs Racing, who's supporting us. Seat Concepts also on board as well. AHM, Precision Concepts. The vendor row was packed. Like I said, I saw a lot of those Mateo Oliveira Vent t-shirts going out. Ryan and the crew over at Rad Graphics making a really cool shirt. Hopefully we keep that kind of style of shirt going and maybe use some of the top professionals in this series. I know I'm going to go over there and get me one of those shirts before Ryan packs up. So definitely. So yeah, that was I believe that was Lord that moved over for Dante, and he was kind of telling him thanks. So Dante looks like he's making his way up into some of. I think that was Nick Nays that he just passed on screen. So Nick letting the champ by, but so this is the moto section, and now we're looking at Mateo and Dare. And Dare is all over.
It's been a great battle all day.
So
and we should see the white flag here, correct?
I don't know. There's still 5 minutes left. I don't know how they determine that. I thought that it had to go at least that. So they might make that happen. I don't want to say that that's exactly what's going to happen, but we'll see, because we'll go back to our Yamaha finish line shot and see here pretty soon exactly what we're going to do on if this is a white flag or if they're going to go one more lap.
That's a great battle, though, between two tough customers. And to my point earlier that I was just talking about, you take Dante Oliveira out there, that's the battle for the lead. We're talking about two of the fastest men on the planet right now. Bad news for them is nobody's had an answer for the 6-time champion, but you got to tip your cap to Mateo Oliveira and Derek DeMartille as we take a good look at the Yamaha finish line here. I don't even know. Oh, there, ladies and gentlemen, white flag. I think the white flag is coming out for your, is it the last time? I'm going to call him the five-time champion, Dante Oliveira. I don't know if my vocal cords can handle
six-time
champion.
Definitely going to have to take a breath in there somewhere, but those guys it seems like those guys are kind of gaining on him a little bit.
White flag waves for Derek DeMartille and Mateo. Great battle between those two. Great KTM beta battle.
It's go time between those two right now. We might see some inventive lines, and I believe that this is Justin
Heft. Yeah, good run for him. The returning Heft. He's done such a great job. We'll see him back on the motocross track, I'm sure, before too long. As I don't know if Heft has enough time to work his way up onto the podium, but certainly a fourth place finish after everything he's been through injury-wise would be a huge accomplishment to come back out here and build some momentum. Let's see if we get a look at our top five. Is
That's Mason. So that's Lord, who just went through, is winning the 2-stroke A class. And then that's Mason Simmons.
That's what I'm saying. Is this man ready for the 450s
Yeah,
or what? I mean, look at him, 4th, 5th overall, and he started 30 seconds back, and he's on a 250. Unbelievable.
This looks like the women's pro class leader. Is that Ava?
Ava.
That looks like Ava coming through.
Ava coming through. One more lap for her. This is it. Final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Simmons trying to lock up a title. Dante Oliveira trying to become a 6-time champion.
Dare trying to make that pass on Mateo.
Yeah, great battle that we've been witnessing between these two stars.
And this is where some of that extra strength that Mateo has built up over the off season, this is where some of that might come into play. He might be a little bit stronger later and might be able to hold Dare off. I know Dare's going to do everything he can to pass him. Like there's no there. Dare off the course.
Off the course, back on fistful of throttle. Didn't lose too much. He's still got time. Dare trying to take home a 2nd for Team Beta. It's almost like we got to bump Dante into like Super A or something, and then this would be our battle. I actually asked Dante a funny question too. That coming over to KTM next year, the great Eli Tomac. Who do you think would win an NGPC? Eli Tomac versus Dante Oliveira.
Eli's so hard on motorcycles. I don't know if he would be able to make it through the entire race without something breaking. So, but yeah, it's definitely a different aspect of the professional side of racing in motocross with somebody like that coming over, because there's a lot that comes over with him. So, but yeah, you see Dare still pushing it, still trying to do everything he can to make up some time. It's going to be hard to make up time on a rider like Mateo, but Dare's going to give it a shot. He was pushing it. That's why he went off the course a little bit. So we'll see if he's got anything on these as we go into the asphalt section and into the boneyard section, see if he can make up some time.
Well, this is where fitness comes into play, and let me tell you this, Mateo, we know he's in good shape, but is that extra 25 pounds maybe slowing him down just a little bit here? As you put on more weight, it's hard to keep up your cardio. Dare's going the other way. He says his girlfriend's a big marathon runner, and together they've been running a few marathons, so he's in shape for it, but clearly, Mateo, even though he's 25 pounds heavier, he's out there training with Dante all the time. He's just an absolute machine when it comes to cardio. Vision's starting to go away a little bit, though. We talked about how this track was watered, but here and towards the late stages with this hot California sun beating down.
Well, and it's still amazing. I mean, the Viewfinder's doing an amazing job. This is an hour and a half into a pretty big race. Not only do you have the professionals, but you also have the amateurs that are out there as well. And this is the first time we're seeing any measurable amounts of dust. Some of the other races, we might see some dust earlier, especially right off the bat. But the Viewfinder's doing an amazing job of getting this course. And this is after a long weekend of racing. Like this is 2 days of lots of different classes going out there and racing. So again, they did a great job. Looking forward to next year and riding the similar course. And shout out to those guys, because I believe they're all volunteers as well. But again, an amazing job. With now we're watching the champ show us around the track and show us all the hot lines, and he's got a fairly decent gap. I think it's just kind of ride it in from here.
We are racing to a finish here from round number 7. FMF presents the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series, hosted by the Viewfinders, who Mark just told us all about. Big thanks goes out to this live stream, sponsored by Honda, AHM Factory Services, Seat Concepts, Skaggs Racing, Precision Concepts, still giving away that Gas EMTB 2.0. Stay with us as we are racing to a finish. Dare going for it, fistful of throttle for the Beta 480RR. Can he chase down the KTM? You gotta love this rivalry between the orange bikes and Beta. Dare trying to find a way around. He knows now is go time. Into the pavement section. Dare getting a little bit loose. Boy, Mateo just hooking up. Super smooth. Dare lurking. What did he learn? Where's he gonna make his move? He's got that front tire. hooked up hard as we give you a look at the QR code here for Precision Concepts. Dare DeMartile trying to find a way around Mateo. As we race towards the finish, Dare now to the inside, and Dare DeMartile gets the factory beta around Mateo Oliveira. Can he make it stick? Mateo not giving up an inch, fistful of throttle for him. Mateo to the inside, Dare to the outside. An unbelievable. Dante has checked out, but how about the respect factor there for Dare DeMartile? Absolutely not giving up. Riding to his full potential here. Can he hang on to the end?
As they come by a lap rider right now.
Oh, this could play a factor. Like we said, no flaggers out there. Lapped rider gets around. Got to believe that advantage lies with Mateo, too, because now that lapped rider, as you can see, he is aware. Dare serves as the blue flag for him. But, you know, I hate to say I might have called this one here, but is fatigue starting to set in for the man 25 pounds heavier?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a great the pass that Dare put on him was perfectly executed. I mean, came into that corner and just once Mateo committed to the outside, Dare kind of cut across and went on the inside and then kind of drifted out. And he's putting the hammer down. He knows that he's going to have to put some distance between him and Mateo. And when you do that, you pass a rider and then you put distance between you and them. It kind of breaks them, and sometimes it makes it to where they don't want to, or they just don't have it in them. I mean, just these guys have been riding flat out wide open for an hour and a half.
And where the heck is Dante's in another zip code? Look at this lead. Unbelievable. That is some gap sauce, ladies and gentlemen.
And I believe that's him making the left-hand turn and then kind of coming back on the right-hand turn. So
what a dominant run. There he is.
So, yeah, so you see Dare he's not that far back, but on course he's that far back. So
he would hope for a mistake, and this man rarely makes one.
Yeah, it's definitely he's got a couple turns on him. So as long as none of these lapped riders get in his way or anything like that, he should be able to kind of bring it into the finish. But man, really impressed with Dare, and really impressed with the charge that he put on to make it on that last lap and get around Mateo. And we'll see if he can hold that till the end. But like I said, really impressed. It seems like the marathon training, as you were mentioning before, might be that final mile of the marathon coming in. So it's definitely he knows where the track's at, where he can make up time, and he did it. It's from going off the track, half a lap before, to making that pass on the track and kind of stretching it out a little bit.
A lot of marathon runners talk about that kick at the end where they'll pace themselves with somebody and then pick it up hard at the end. And there is Mason Simmons also looking to lock up a championship. We've got so much to talk about here in the final stages of round number 7 as we race towards the Yamaha finish line here. Could be looking at what a historic day for KTM. I know race team manager Tim Wigan, he's got to be so happy, so proud of these boys. He is boots on the ground here with us this weekend. There's going to be a party back in Temecula if Team KTM could potentially come away with 2 championship titles.
A rider down.
Viewfinders out there giving Dante, what was that? Was that the Red Cross flag? Let's hope everything's okay. Our medical team right on top of it. So thoughts and prayers goes out to that rider, and that's why you want to do it out here in a sanctioned event like this. We've got the pros standing by, making sure they get the best care possible. Dante, unfazed, gets by the incident, and he continues to roll around this.
Dare, it looks like Dare's still making up some time. So
yeah, Dare has found another.
I know
gear.
that Timmy Wigan, the race team manager over there at KTM, they just got back from a really long bicycle ride. There was the Ride for Rocky, which is Kai Aiello's dad, who passed away a few years ago. They all go on a big bike ride because, and I believe it has. I think Rocky was an avid bicycle rider, but they all go on a Ride for Rocky, and I followed it on Instagram. Him and Gary Sutherland and Jesse Ziegler and the CEO of KTM was also on the ride. So it was definitely something that's really cool, keeping Rocky's memory alive. And keeping it going. So that was a really cool thing to see. But right now we're looking at Dante coming into the motocross section for the last time. We'll get to see he jumps one way and probably see Dare coming the other way here shortly. That's not Dare going the other way, but so that's Dare is making up time.
Yeah, Dare.
That's Dante, and I believe that's Dare coming back. That's Dare right there. So
Dare has really closed that gap. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Maybe Dante has slowed down just a little bit off the pace, playing it safe, and that incident might have slowed him down a little bit. And Dare continues to nail it as we take a look at the Ride Engineering QR code for you. Remember, save 25%. NGPC 25 as Dante Oliveira goes through this moto section. And do they have the champagne ready over at Team Factory Red Bull KTM? Because it could be a pair of orange championships today. Dante, unfazed, unyielding, one of the absolute most talented men on a dirt bike today. You always got to wonder what is next for this man. Wants to win the 6 days. I'd love to see him out there running some more nationals as well, because I think he can hang an AMA Pro Motocross. He is that fast. He is that damn good. He is Dante Oliveira. Gives it a look back. A few more turns. And I think it's time to get that champagne off the ice, Mark, because Team KTM looking smooth, looking fast as Dante Oliveira comes past the spectators, comes through pit road. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the 5-time champion, and as of right now, in just a few more feet, say hello to the newly crowned 6-time defending champion. Congratulations, Dante Oliveira, getting it done once again. And look at Dare DiMartino.
That's impressive.
Dare
really
came on
impressive.
strong.
There's the champagne.
There's the champagne. Dante getting a bath from all the Red Bull KTM boys out there. Congratulations to him. There's Brody DiMartino. And wow, I know that, as you could tell, Dare wasn't quite what he wanted today, but he really came on strong on that last lap. I believe Matteo on the podium as well. So it'll be KTM, Beta, KTM, and let's keep an eye on Mason. We're now looking for the green number 1. He comes through this chute first,
right there.
And you will have his final performance in the 250 category. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate your champion in the 250 class, the one, the only Mason Simmons out of Australia. We'll see you in the 450s in Laughlin. Congratulations, Mason. 2 championships handed out so far here today in Ridgecrest, and I still do believe by virtue of her finish, Moto KK, an opportunity to lock up that championship as well, I believe.
Well, and I think that Mason came across right behind
Heft. So Heft, good run for him out here in 4th. And now we turn our attention to the 454. That is Ava Silvestri looking to capture a win out here in the NGPC Series. Very proud of this hard-working young lady, tip-top physical condition with her whole family. You know they have got to be pumped up about this. It has been so hard to race behind Moto KK Michaela Nielsen. We got to find out more about this water polo story, too. Tough break for Moto KK. Who hit her hand? And that individual's in the penalty box. But Ava Silvestri looking to come through with the big win for Team Gas. Few more turns to go as we send them through the Yamaha finish line. A lot of our plus 25 racers coming through. And there's Tyler Lynn. Good run for him. I believe he's in 5th. Don't quote us just yet in the Open Pro category.
Sam Pritchard coming through right now. Is that
Giacomo or is that Lindgren?
I think that's
Linden. Wow, Linden outrunning his teammate Giacomo here. So clearly, Pro Circuit boys, they got an eye for talent. They know who to pick. And as you alluded to, Mark, could be more picks coming. That team could be growing.
And
here it comes. Honor Gas. A big congratulations to one very tough young lady, Ava Silvestri, coming through with the win. This is why you never give up, you never quit. Congratulations, Ava Silvestri, your winner today in the women's category. We got a lot to sort out. We've got championships to give out, and we will do all of that when we return to this Honda-backed FMF Round 7 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC Series, hosted by the Viewfinders. Stay with us, everybody. We'll talk to our winners and podium finishers when we come back.
Now, I'll bet you that's podium.
Do they expect you to get all the way? Do we have communication with you? Does Aaron? No. I'll check in with Aaron real quick. I would check in with Aaron.
I'm Jeremy McGrath, and I trust Maxxis tires. It's the only way I roll.
It is a story of attitude, of mental toughness, because the easy thing to do for Michaela Nielsen, who's racing out there with a broken hand towards the finish line, would have been just take the day off. She's got a comfortable enough lead in the points that she could have done that, but guess what? Moto KK not going to go out like that. She pushed herself through today, and there's going to be an imaginary gold medal around her neck just for finishing this race, and even sweeter, I do believe she will lock up the championship. So big congratulations to Moto KK. Make sure to give her a big pat on the back when you see her for toughing it out and finishing this race. Just don't give her a pat on the hand. Like I said, unfortunately, racing with a broken hand, suffered in a water polo game. Let's hope she gets healthy and recovers quickly, because she has been every bit as dominant in her category as Dante Oliveira has been in the 450s. Dante, by the way, if you're just joining us, locking up his championship, now the 6-time champion. Mason Simmons locking up the championship in the 250s. So it looks like all of our titles will be set heading into Laughlin, and that could make for some very interesting racing when we get to Laughlin, Nevada. And I invite all of you, too, if you can somehow join us, please be with us in person. That is a great gaming community right on the side of the Colorado River. You'll have a blast down there. And what I love is you may think, oh, with championships locked up, there's not going to be much to talk about. It will be the opposite. You'll see a lot of changes. You'll see Mason Simmons step up to the 450s, and you will see this very, very tough young lady, Moto KK, Michaela Nielsen, making her way to the Yamaha finish line. Here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, how about it? Moto KK, who did a great job in Women's MX this year and a bunch of other series, making it through. Those championships are won sometimes on your worst days. Playing hurt. Congratulations to her. Moto KK making the entire squad over there at Mark Samuels' SLR Honda team very, very proud. There is the boss, Mark Samuels, as Moto KK heads it back to the pits, and then she'll get ready to go down to the podium. And we're going to hear from our podium finishers in just a little bit as the talented Mark Tilley is over there. But let's take a look at your unofficial results. Dante Oliveira coming through with a time of 1:37.57, outlasting his rival, Derek DeMartille, on the factory beta, coming through the second. Mateo Oliveira third. The returning Justin Heff fourth. Tyler Lynn, a top five. Congratulations to Lyndon Snodgrass with his NGPC Pro Circuit debut. Takes home a sixth. Giacomo Redonde, seventh. Carter Klein, great job for him out there as well with his Honda team. And Hayden Flores and Ezra Tate rounding out your top 10 for round number 7 here from Ridgecrest, California. What was a beautiful, beautiful day for racing. And I guarantee you there's going to be a party in the KTM pits. They've got something special planned. I do know that. Can you believe it? Dante Oliveira, 6-time champion. It looks like they're up on the podium. And as soon as we get word that we're ready, we'll kick it down there. And I hear some cheers already. Unbelievable. 3 very, very talented individuals standing down there. We are ready. Mark, we're going to
Jack, we're back down here on the podium of the Open Pro class. Third place, Mateo Oliveira, the man on the T-shirt of this event. Now, Jack was saying something about you were gaining some weight, doing some stuff. So did that help you in this, or was that a little bit of a hindrance in this?
I think it helped for sure. You got to be strong out on this track and hold on for as long as you can. It's not the roughest track, but it's just fast and a constant small chop. So you definitely got to be strong and in shape. So I think it definitely helped.
So now you had a really good battle with Dare. On the last lap, he got by, he kind of cut to the inside. But all race long had a great battle with Dare. So take us through your race a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I got off to a good start. Was able to get around Justin quick, and then kind of settled in behind my brother. Tried to make a couple charges at him, but he managed him well. We'd yo-yo a little bit, and then made it to the pit in second. Dare and Justin got around me. They honestly they rode that lap. We pitted super well, and then they pitted the lap after. Did a little cat and mouse with Dare, trying to battle with him. Chased him down. We were pushing hard. He ended up going down, and then just tried to hammer to the finish. He regrouped well, though, and then he made a charge that last lap. So it was fell short of second, but good race. Last year here, I think I got beat by like 2 minutes. So to be in the mix is pretty nice.
Well, if we go from last year to this year, that training that you're doing, putting on the extra weight, making sure you have the strength for the end of it, it's definitely working so far. So who would you like to thank for getting you here?
The whole FMF Red Bull KTM team, my girlfriend, my parents, Josh for having the bike, working awesome, and everyone else, and congrats to my brother for winning another championship.
All right, well, we're not going to stop. We're going to come up place. You were the winner last year, second place this year, kind of dropped down a little bit. We saw you drop the bike, but then you were able to come back and make that last lap pass. Tell us what it was like through your eyes.
Well, my start was not good, so that was the first mistake that I had. It was I didn't get off the line good. I don't really know what I did, but yeah, I had to battle through the guys pretty hard and ride pretty aggressive the first couple laps. And then, yeah, I had a great battle with Mateo. He was riding awesome, and then got around him and thought I could put a good charge on the number one, and ended up just tucking the front into the inside of the corner there and picked it up pretty quick, and then kept her running, and heart rate was up. Had to do some breathing and calm my heart rate down, and yeah, overall it was a good race. I was happy to get in the second place spot and be on the podium in general after having a bad start in the fall. Even though these races are an hour and a half, the start just means a ton, you know, with all the dust and the obstacles we have here. So overall good. I can't thank the whole Beta USA Liqui Moly team enough. My dad as my mechanic, all my friends and family, my girlfriend Bryn back at home watching. It was her dad's birthday, Jeff Miller, yesterday, so a big happy birthday to him. And Divvy Water, HBD Graphics, Bridgestone Tires, Mika Metals, Regina Chains, and everyone else that's part of the team. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome year racing these guys. Number one rode awesome, and it's cool that I've been racing against him for 4 years and learning from him. And yeah, it was a good race, so he deserves it. He killed it today.
Man, you make interviewing people easy, because all I do is say one thing and then you just take it over. Definitely Beta, lucky to have you. Now, you are training a little bit different as well. You're doing some marathons with your girlfriend and stuff like that. So is half marathon. Okay. So that stuff paying off. Take us through that last lap pass on Mateo. We got to see it, but what was going through your mind?
Well, you know, anytime you fall in a long race, it's hard to pick your bike up and get your heart rate back down to, you know, the sweet zone where you can kind of maintain it. And so I was like, man, I picked it up and I was like, well, we're really going to see what we can do here. And I just charged. I knew some people were going to be hitting the wall, and so I just rode hard and pressured Mateo as hard as I could, and then I saw opportunity for the pass, and then I got around him, and then the next turn, believe it or not, I almost blew over the outside and got absolutely insanely squirrely, and then kept it together, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to breathe and get through this final lap, and I was happy to keep it on two wheels for the rest of the race.
All right, well, you made it very interesting, and it's great to watch you ride, especially when you're feeling the flow. There's nobody else that's more fun to watch ride when you're feeling the flow. So congratulations on second place. And now we turn around to you, and we have you to thank for, we're going to start hearing six times from now on. And so thank you for that. But congratulations on the championship. Got the hardware coming in here, but you kind of made it boring for everybody. You got out front and kind of did what you do. So take us through the race from your point of view.
Yeah, I got an awesome start and just took off. That first little bit, they prepped it differently than it was yesterday and this morning, so that was a little, it made it nicer. You could just rock it into the berm and like a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But yeah, put the hammer down the first lap, glanced over my shoulder a few times, saw what was going on, and had a consistent charge. I rode some sections of the track really well, and then a couple others I struggled where they'd catch me a little bit. But I got a nice comfortable gap into the pit, and then it was a tight race because me and my brother pitted a lap before the other boys, so tight race with Dare. And then he ended up pitted and then got my cushion back, and it was good. The bike worked flawless. The team was great. We had an awesome pit, me and my mechanic, and great way to end the season.
All right, well, congratulations on your championship. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for getting you to this 6th championship?
The man above, my lady, my family, the whole Red Bull FMF KTM team, my mechanic, Bobby D, IMS Tanks, Dunlop Tires, Gut Seats, Renthal, FMF, Motorex, Alpine Star, Asterisk knee braces, and just everybody behind me, everybody taking care of the team and making sure we're ready to go racing on the weekends. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, there you have it. Jack, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and big congratulations to our 6-time champion, Dante Oliveira. Also, big congratulations, Dare DeMartile, Factory Beta. What a great year for them. And Mateo. That is a pretty tough 1, 2, 3 right there. I would put them up against just about anybody in any form of dirt bike racing, that's for sure. Congratulations. 3 very, very talented individuals here in the NGPC category. Well, speaking of the Pro 2 class and very talented individuals there, let's take a look at some of our unofficial results. Mason Simmons with a great run out there. And we want to thank the Viewfinders, and we also want to thank the Hintz family for doing such a great job out there. Thank you very much. Mason Simmons coming home with the win. Samuel Pritchira in the number 2 spot. Jake Alvarez in the number 3 spot. Cole Zeller, number 4. Colton the Cowboy, Eck, number 5 spot. Noah Gordon, 6. Kaya Ello, 7. Dustin Davis coming home 8th. Zachary Curling, 9th. And Brock Bennett out of Bakersfield, California, rounding out your top 10 here in the Pro 2 category. It was hotly contested, and boy, I can't wait till we get to Laughlin, that's for sure. And I do believe our roving reporter, the one and only Mark Tilley, has our podium finishers and our new champ down there on the podium. Let's send it down to Mark. Well, we might have sent it down a little bit early. That's okay. Mark's looking great with that gap. Mark, what I understand, we got the gas.
All right, Jack, we're back down here on the podium, but I think Mark won. All right, Jack, we're back down here on the podium. Now, we don't have any riders behind us, but that gas that we were promoting that we're giving away, we're actually going to give it away. And the winner is Ryan Dolan. But we're going to have Bones Bacon come up from Pro Circuit because it's Bones' grandson's dad. So, Bones, come on up here. So, $5, was it $5 entry? Scan the thing, and so you're just here to pick it up. Like, you have no idea, you're just here to pick it up.
I had no idea until 10 minutes ago, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so is he actually going to get it, or is it going to come to you?
I'm taking it home.
Yeah.
So I might test it out a little bit, but I'm going to I would just want to thank Gas. This is pretty awesome. I just found out about it a little while ago, and, man, what a cool gift. Thanks to NGPC for doing this. Thanks to Gas, and I might try it out.
Well, we're going to have to put some different graphics on it if you get on it. We're going to have to put some green graphics on it and put some Pro Circuit stickers or something like that somewhere. You can't ride a Gas. You're too Kawasaki. You bleed green, don't you?
Well, that's true, but I mean, Gas gave this away. Props to them. This is pretty cool. I'm not going to camouflage it at all. This is a cool bike, and I appreciate the effort that goes into sponsoring everybody here at NGPC and doing what they do. I mean, it's pretty cool. The kids have a blast coming out and doing these events, and this is awesome.
So there you have it. They just won this Gas. We were telling you about it during the live feed earlier, and they won it. So Bones is taking it home, and back to you, Jack. We're going to come back with the Pro 2 class, but back to you for now.
Well, thank you so much, Mark, and congratulations, Bones and family, taking home that brand new mountain bike. But fear not out there, NGPC fans, because you still got an opportunity to win a beta 480RR. Make
Okay,
sure
now you
get
guys can go in.
into, that competition because we'll be raffling that one off in Laughlin. So you too can be a winner. And I'm sorry, I think I said 480. That's Dare's bike. We're actually raffling off a 2025 Beta 450 RX, which is an awesome motorcycle. That'll go down a couple weeks from now, right before Halloween. We'll be alongside the Colorado River in Laughlin, Nevada. And again, I want to see you there. And shout out, if my man Carlin Gardner is watching. Carlin, you know I've put that challenge down. I want to see the Beta Factory rig in Laughlin. I want to see Benny Bloss. I want to see Mitchell Oldenburg. I want to see the Gardner brothers. I want to see the great Rodney Smith show up to Laughlin. Come on, guys, let's do it. I told you we may see some surprises at the end of the year. But right now, what you can do is take out your phone, scan that QR code, and you can enter for your chance to win this beautiful Beta 2025 Beta 450 RX. Beta, of course, the official motorcycle of NGPC. We appreciate everything they've done, and what I said, what a banner year for them between what Dare D. Martell is doing, between what Benny Bloss and Mitchell Oldenburg have done out in the Supercross and Motocross and SMX series, doing a great job. So right now, everybody watching, take your phone out, scan that QR code, and take a shot at it. As our Pro 2 finishers are up on the podium
here,
let's send it down.
JP Alvarez on his
Mark
Kawasaki. Now, you kind of went away from the series a little bit this year, do a little bit more motocross. I see you all the time when I take the kids to Paris Raceway, whipping it sideways and making all the motocross kids look bad. But third place overall, take us through your race.
Yeah, I had the whole shot. I don't even know how I did it because yesterday I couldn't even start my bike and whole shot it. Made a couple mistakes on the first lap, and Mason got by me, then Sam did, and I just couldn't get my first lap around the course pretty much, and it was pretty difficult. The second, third lap, Zeller got by me as well, and then I latched onto him, and yeah, I just kind of battled with him for 2 laps, made the pass, and kind of held on the third from there.
Well, yeah, the start was amazing. You got off it's almost like you cheated when you got off, because you got off, when you look back at the live feed, you got off really good. So great to have you back at the series. Hopefully you're going to come back to a lot more of these, but tell me, who would you like to thank for getting you here?
I got to thank my dad for most of all. You know, he helps me out with everything. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be racing, and Moose Racing, Pro Circuit, Bones, Luke, they got my bike dialed in, so they also got the motor done and helps out a little bit, and you know, everybody else that helps me out, appreciate it.
All right, well, congratulations on third. We're going to walk over here to second place, and Sam, you put in a good run, you couldn't knock this guy down. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that was my goal, was to stay as close to him for as long as possible. He's been kicking my ass all year, so I wanted to try and go out with something that I can, it didn't happen. He just checked out again, but that's all right. Pretty happy with how the day went. Just pushed as long as I could, as hard as I could, and I'd just like to thank everyone from Husqvarna, Three Brothers, Hatch Racing, Trilly Designs, Golden Tire, Fish Developments, Power of the Mind, Robbie Bell, Precision Concepts. Everyone helps out a lot. Mum and Dad and Bob Stoney were here to do my pit, and just everyone that goes without a thanks. It's all appreciated.
So you had pit boss Bob back in your corner for the pits. Now going into Laughlin, it sounds like he might be racing a 450. So does your strategy change a little bit?
No, it's just try and get the best start as possible and wide open for an hour and a half. So that's all I can do, and a thing that's been helping me is just focusing on myself and not so much the race around me. That's one of the things that I find was what was holding me back a little bit, was I'd worry about what was going on behind me. So we're same plan as always going into Laughlin. It should be I'm excited.
All right. Well, is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
FMF, Goa Hotel, Mason. Honestly, Mason, he's been a massive help. Just day in and day out, living with him. I've learned a lot over the last 2 years, and I owe a lot to him. And can't thank him enough.
All right, well, there you have it. I think we're going to get some hardware in here, the number 1 plate, and then some of the trophies. But the number 1 plate for a second year in a row, and the race winner for the Ridgecrest round, the Viewfinders. So Mason got out front. and just kind of checked out. Looking forward to the next round to see you on a 450, but tell us a little bit about this race that you went through.
Yeah, I got an okay start. I think I was 4th, maybe 5th, and then made my way up to the lead. And yeah, Sam was ripping the first few laps. I was happy with that, actually. It was good. And he's going to be the force we reckon with next year, I think. He's riding really well and he's only improving. So I'm looking forward to watching him go at it next year. And as of this race, all went well, went smooth. Got the win and the championship, which I'm absolutely stoked about. And yeah, looking forward to Laughlin stepping up the 450 and see how we go.
So now you are doing the 450 at Laughlin. You've just confirmed it. Are you training any different, doing anything different? I know you've ridden a 450. I get to see you at Glen Helen every once in a while on one. Is there any kind of different training that you're going to do, or is it just jump on a bigger bike and go?
Yeah, just keep at it. Just same schedule, same training. Maybe just put the 250 away and jump on the 450, which I've been doing anyway. So, just keep riding the 450, get more comfortable on it, get Bob Bell out there, Precision Concepts, whoever, to get the bike dialed in a little bit more. But honestly, it feels really comfortable. And, yeah, I think by the time we get to Laughlin, we'll just send it.
So now, second championship, moving out of the 250 class. Who would you like to thank for the last couple years of helping you out?
Yeah, the whole RPM KTM racing team. Mike stepped up when I really needed it last year. And to reward him with 2 championships is... everything I've ever wanted to do for him. And, everyone else involved with the team. Cameron jumped on this year. Carissa, bike's been awesome every race. Can't complain about that. And, just everyone else at home watching. I've got lots of family and friends at home that get up at 4, 5 a.m., watch me on the way to work and all that stuff. So shout out to everyone at home for supporting me and just everyone else. Power the Mind Coach, Stephen Denise Hatch, Precision Concepts, Trail Jesters, Ross, he does a lot for me too. And, it's all the other sponsors associated with the team. Without them, this wouldn't be possible.
All right, well, there you have it. There's the Pro 2 podium, and it's confirmed he will be on a 450 at Laughlin, so we look forward to that. Back to you, Jack.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and congratulations, Mason Simmons. I can't wait for Laughlin for multiple reasons. That will be another one. We'll see how Mason can do against Dante Oliveira, Dare DiMartile, Mateo, and all the boys. Get ready, 450 class. Here comes Australia's Mason Simmons. Great job for him. Congratulations once again to all those folks down there in Orange. What a great year. What a great 2025 for KTM. Celebrating big time out here as we take a look at our unofficial Pro Women results where Ava Silvestri able to get the win. She certainly deserves it. She worked so hard, and she has momentum on her side with what she was able to do overseas. Michaela Nielsen playing hurt here this weekend, and again, big pat on the back for her. Toughing it out with, she'll be able to confirm with Mark, we're hearing perhaps broken hand in a water polo match, so tough break for Moto KK. But as I said before, the easy thing for Moto KK to do would have been sit back and relax, and no, she comes out here and finishes. Ty Woolslayer doing a great job, and Mackenzie as well. Shout out to Mackenzie, who climbed the ranks and is in the women's category. We want to see some more women out there. I had a conversation with the great Lacey Olivia, so we got to get her into this women's category before too long. It's great to see some of the girls out there banging bars for sure. Precision Concepts, we thank you so much. Guys, if you take out your phone, you'll get more information about Precision Concepts simply by scanning the QR code in front of you as we take a beautiful look at scenic Ridgecrest here in the Mojave Desert. It was hotter today, too. Yesterday was just picture perfect. It warmed up a little bit today. It is apt to do that in the desert. So some tough racing conditions for these racers, but everybody able to gut it out and tough it out. Also, big thanks goes out to Ride Engineering. There's another QR code for you where you can save 25% with code NGPC25. Thank you so much to our friends at Ride Engineering. Look at this. We've got quads coming through. If this looks like fun, look up NGPC Racing and come out with us. We got a problem with a quad here in the finish line. Thank you, Viewfinders. Viewfinders doing a great job. As you can see, we will get that individual across the finish line. All right, let's send it down to our women podium with Mark Tilley.
All right, we're back here down on the podium, this time with the women's pro class podium. And Ty Woolslayer on the podium again. You're a fixture at this series. You've done every round this year. Take us through your race.
It was good. I had a pretty decent start. I'm getting better at the dead engine starts, and The past 3 weekends in a row, we've been tackling some bike issues. We can't quite figure out what exactly is wrong with it, so just tried to make it to a finish without completely killing myself.
Now, so did you get off to a good start? I know we saw the start on the live feed, but what kind of start did you get?
I was kind of sort of second off the jump, and then Michaela got me before the first turn.
So now that you've had success at this series in NGPC, are we going to see you at Laughlin, or are we going to see you next year?
Yeah, we'll be at Laughlin if we get this bike figured out.
And then next year, are you coming back?
Yeah, we're planning on it for sure.
All right, then who would you like to thank for getting you here?
My mom and my dad, Reflex Racing, Fast Company, at Cherubies, Economy Floors, Precision Concepts, X Brand, and Amy Grips, and everyone else that stands behind me.
All right, well, congratulations on third place, and we look forward to seeing you at Laughlin.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to walk over here to Michaela. Michaela, tell us about this hand thing. What happened?
Thursday, I spiral fractured it, and then I didn't even think it was broken, so I rode that 9 a.m. race and went to the ER here in Ridgecrest, and they said, yeah, spiral fracture, and then I made it worse by racing in that race, but just kind of relied on painkillers and try to wrap it the best technique we could with putting a little cushion right here, and honestly just try to wrap it together to keep it together. And honestly, I led those first 2 laps, but before that second lap, I couldn't really use my front brake because I only had these 2 fingers to hold on, and then the bike twitched and pulled my hand out and fully broke it now because it's just kind of dangling. I made it worse than what it should be, but hopefully Monday I can get it maybe plated and just start healing for Laughlin. So a bit unfortunate. Kind of have some FOMO missing out on the boys all celebrating, but it is what it is. I'm glad that I could even finish. Obviously, broken metacarpal, your grip lays right in your palm, and those bumps were not my best friend. But I'm just happy to still be here. I only lost 5 points. Yeah, going into the next race, just got to finish, and still bummed about my perfect season, but at least I'm here.
Well, most guys wouldn't tough this out. I know I wouldn't have. So big props to you on that for toughing it out and, making it, if you did make it a little bit worse. That shows grit and determination. Your sponsors got to be happy with that. So who would you like to thank for getting you here?
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my boyfriend Parker Ross for coming out here and supporting me, and then my whole SLR Honda team. I'm glad they weren't too mad at me for this. But they just helped push me and helped trying to get me mentally ready for this. And the whole Fly team is behind me. Alpine Stars, Honda Racing, IMS, ODI, Hinson, Throttle Syndicate, just everyone on this bike. We've had a great season, so I'm ready to go into that last one.
All right, well, congratulations on getting through the race, and we look forward to seeing you at Laughlin. I think we're going to see some hardware come in if you want to come in and give them their trophies. And then now we're going to turn around to the number 1, who's been all over the world here lately and winning all over the world. Now you're winning back on home soil. Take us through your race. Take us through that start and take us through it all.
I got the whole shot and basically led the whole first lap until the doubles. I got to work on being able to actually hit jumps. I'm pretty terrible at it, but then, kind of just the second lap, tried to stay as close as possible to Michaela because that's normally where I lose a lot of time is the second and third lap. And, I kind of noticed ending the second lap, it looked like she fell over. I maybe ran into one of the sides of those tight turns before the check. And kind of just, after that, tried to just put a gap because, honestly, regardless of a broken hand or not, she was riding really good the first 2 laps. So I was honestly really impressed by that. So, I had no idea how she was feeling or how she was doing back there. So, like I said, just try to still put on a gap and try to just ride good in general. It's kind of a 50-50 feeling when you do win when someone is injured. So, it's a little defeating in that sense. But in a way, I still rode good today. The pros didn't lap me until the midway of the second to last lap. So that's a pretty good day for me. So, like I said, it's pretty 50-50 in a way. But, a win is a win. So I guess we'll take it.
Yeah, a win goes in the record books. Nobody knows in the record books. You got to stay positive. Remember, you've been winning. Positive. You've been winning a lot. You've been all over the world winning a lot. So look forward to seeing you at Laughlin. And who would you like to thank for getting you here?
Of course, my parents, first and foremost, Gas, 395 Motorsports, Trolley Designs, FMF, Blood Lubricants, Racer Decal, Dirt Tricks, AME Grips, Fast Company, and everyone else. Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it, Jack, the Women's Pro Podium, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Mark, and congratulations, Ava Silvestri. Big pat on the back to all of our women. Congratulations, Moto KK, for toughing it out. We hope to see her back feeling a lot better in Laughlin in just a couple weeks. Congratulations to our 6-time champion, Dante Oliveira, our newly crowned Pro 2 champion, Mason Simmons, and all the sponsors here at NGPC, the Hintzes, the Hunters. You guys are the greatest. Thanks for keeping this beautiful, beautiful form of motorsports alive. The Viewfinders, everybody here at Ridgecrest, and all of our buddies at L&N Media Productions. James on audio, great job as always. Guys, my name's Jack Corpella. Make sure you give me a follow at Racing Jack YouTube. For Mark Tilley of Dirt Bike Magazine, have a great day. We'll see you at Laughlin, Nevada.